无可取代的你，台盐海洋碱性离子水。
What colors do you like？ 红牌油漆。
1%的突破就是胜负的关键。台湾大哥大 Open Passport 联名卡5.5%，业界最高配息费，现金回馈，再享多样升级优惠，同时串联 My Money 换取一站式金融服务。挺神的，更挺你的，人所不能。台湾大哥大 Open Passport 联名卡。
完美最困难的是保持完美。你自己的辛苦，你最清楚。别人口中的辛苦你了，都比不上你对自己说的一声辛苦了。辛苦过后的你，也要好好照顾自己。
老公，我去接小孩喽。
老婆要交水费，还有停车费、保护费、管理费。
去你的管理费！下载中保好生活线上缴费，省钱省麻烦，即刻搜寻中保好生活。
我叫陈家明，一个上班族，平常喜欢投资股票，因为种种原因断断了2颗牙，来到这里。
要今天治疗好，可以啊，总治疗费25.6万
啊？怎么这么贵？我哪来那么多钱啊？ 难道只能卖肾换现金了吗？
准备好了吗？我还有股票可以换现金。
肉也竹间，这是每一餐的首选，还有宵夜必备。I say竹间，我有看就赢20，让你满满惊艳。I say竹间，最超值的海鲜版的春风满面，这是竹间，给狼来海比澎湃，一定新鲜。你是竹间，这是阮对你的爱，伊拉下伊马塞。
Taking these chances, they wouldn't give me the answers, so I gotta go out and get it. I'ma hold them off for ransom. They don't know what to do with me. Promise this is nothing new with me. If you came in here to ruin me, hope you writing out a eulogy. I was tailor-made beautifully, you can never find two of me. Look how I'm shining. We keep it 120, we never make an excuse. So go ahead and tell everybody down now we coming for you.
不管你的想象是什么 ，DIY 乐趣和你想象的一样有趣。自主乐趣，制造美好。
停水怎么没通知啊？去你的管理费！下载中保好生活社区公告立即接收，即刻搜寻中保好生活。
谁说财报只会跟数字有关？我们以人为题材，拿生活来书写，用60年的时间写下一份给所有人的财报。期待每一天，每个角落都在成长，都有盈余。 如今，这份财报仍然在我们的生活中不断持续。作者就是每个人。
正向力量，成就可能。富邦金控。
梦雪，好不好？
You're my favorite rainbow.
What colors do you like? 红牌油漆。
辛苦了一周有够累，哥哥带你去吃 Fridays， 晚餐搭配 Friday 就像派对，美食飘散着浓厚香味，红的松的漂亮的座位，除了排摊靠让我沉醉，美好的时光不该早睡 ，Don't worry about that， 今天就是 Friday， 美式的风格气氛正在堆叠，不用出国洗洗都变悠闲，朋友都到了，味道太香了 ，Friday 都能待在这里，那就太棒了 ，Fridays。
看起来简单，背后是无数的不简单累积而成。就像台湾大哥大 Open Possible 联名卡，简单申办即办即用，再享多样神级优惠，还有业界最高5.5%电信费现金回馈，同时串联 My Money 唤起一站式金融服务，挺神的，更挺你的，能所不能。台湾大哥大 Open Possible 联名卡。
哇，
水分大量流失，
Fin 的等渗透压与人体较接近。Fin， 喝水不够，喝 Fin 就好。Fin 补给饮料。
补水补好菌，天天有活力。Fin 乳酸菌补给饮料。
想当 MVP 就要攻守兼备，全新沙威龙 Fubon， 来自英国，抗菌第一品牌。对内防护细菌，对外展现自信，抗菌也能超有型。沙威龙 Fubon 极致登场 ，Savlon。
申办台湾大哥大5G 专案，请你看 Disney Plus， 账单省近6500，加码再送某某币，最高超过2万，还有 Disney Plus 限量好礼。台湾大哥大，请你看更划算。
停着双手。你们一步步实现自己的梦想，从拥有一辆机车开始，遇到彼此，步上婚姻， 买了车，一起去旅游。终于，你们拥有自己的房子和心爱的孩子，一起打拼，建立起自己的事业，承诺要守护所有。但你们也需要有人守护。无论在人生哪个阶段，富邦产险提供多元完整的保障，以专业为您服务，用热情守护每个承诺。富邦60正向力量，热情守护。
多少？
巴拉西。2个愿望一次满足。
好，那我们就别说了，我们就准备开吃吧。
爽口，爆料满口，日式照烧酱烧 ，Q 脆饼皮铜板价，大口大口爆料 taco， 给你爆好料，复兴空厨站烧披萨。
There goes blurs of colors.
What colors do you like? 红牌油漆。
我希望能为地球做更多。我相信脚下的每一步都能离永续更进一步。
延续绿色金融，让我们一起为永续而跑。参加4大马拉松，跑40公里，富邦就为地球种下1棵树。
停止赛前练习，场上热身球员请回球队席。
力量成就可能，富邦金控。
I speak Chinese, man. I understand, okay? Those aren't my friends. Not my friends. Not good guys. Not good teammates.
佩戴口罩。那么在待会我们比赛赛前仪式也将正式开始。
这场我在不是说说，勇敢挑战不同对手，我进攻我投球，我要的不止赢球，场上毫不保留要你看见台湾篮球。这场我在不是说说，铜墙铁壁我的防守，我努力我卖命，我要的是你肯定，永远
比赛快开始了，不要再滑手机喽，不然就把你手打断。
小心你的手啊！欢迎所有现场的朋友再一次来到台北和平篮球馆，掌声给自己。是的，很开心，在这边要来正式的跟大家说，篮球季回来了。很开心，在我们今天看到这么多朋友来到台北和平篮球馆，一起来参与台北富邦银行 We Believe 凭我相信的开幕周。隔了好久，也在今天正式的宣告，第2季 Plus League 正式要来展开了。那么在经过了将近有半年的时间，好久没看到这么多进场的朋友。上一次就是也在这边最后一次跟大家见面，不过当时的状况也都不一样。相信今天又会再一次点燃大家的热情，继续陪着勇士队写下新的篇章。而在新的比赛要正式开始之前呢，有一群美丽的身影，也是让我们非常想念。马上就要有请他们来为我们带来精彩的演出，现在就让我们一起来欢迎富邦 Angel。
다른 토요일 밤 모여 모두 다 get on the floor tonight Dance on a Saturday night 그럼 모두 다 Welcome to my world, welcome to my world I pull it down 전화기를 들고 친구 불러 DJ는 drop 산소가 바닥날 때까지 춤춰봐 모두 멈추지마 뭘 좀 아는 남자들은 날 원하지 눈 돌아가 Cause I'm hot 넌 들어가 girl you're so nice 다분히 하품 나는 style 그렇게 더 네 멋대로 모두 같이 오늘 다 달려봐 분위기 살려봐 Coming to my world Welcome to my world Oh welcome 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 to my world Feel me now 너를 멈추지 마 모두 다 welcome to my world 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 Let go Dangerous 날 더 망가뜨려도 널 믿을 수밖에 없게 해줘 Oh 아세스 찾은 캐리 난 네 옆자리를 넘봤지 Freak 따윈 잊었어 끝까지 가볼래 넌 날 반쯤 미치게 만들어 You got me like crazy love 대체 네가 뭔데 미쳐 날려 기분이 up and down You got me like crazy love 나도 내가 out of control I'm getting let go I'm getting let go
再一次掌声，谢谢富邦 Angel。好的，接着要来邀请所有现场的朋友，准备好你的目光，一起来看向大荧幕。
It feels like yesterday. Plus League 元年总冠军。大家都还记得吧？
一直都有一个冠军梦。
But why do we feel like there's something missing?
就感觉有了开始，然后有了中间的过程，但是结尾就少了一点。
我以为有满天的彩带，
好像没发生过。知道在哪里做
Not one, not two.
All for one.
再拿一座总冠军。
是时候一起分享这份荣耀。
冠军之后，历经了3个多月以来，大家可以看向我右手边，我们勇士精心打造的冠军戒指也正式出炉了。除了有我们这一座冠军奖杯之外，还有特别非常用心手工制作的冠军戒，特别是我们勇士队精心手工制作。上面呢，冠军戒有我们上一季大家团结的标语 All for One， 以及这场我在的口号。还有我们的富邦60集团60周年的一个口号宣誓，再来还有每一位阵容的背号都在戒指上。从刚刚影片当中可以想到，我们这一路走来的夺冠心路历程，也谢谢有现场的朋友一起陪伴着我们。那么接下来我们今天就要在我们的主场一起将这份荣耀跟大家共享。马上就要来邀请到台北富邦勇士篮球队领队蔡成儒 Chris。欢迎领队一起来上台，要来将我们这份荣耀一起来献给所有辛苦的台北富邦勇士篮球队。好了，我们要来一一的来介绍。首先颁发的是勇士教练团成员，首先为各位欢迎球队翻译梁兆轩。由 Chris 来将我们的戒指递给我们的翻译。好的，看向前方回迎。好，看前方。好的，接着要来欢迎防护师05章，掌声欢迎。也很开心，可以在现场所有勇士球迷的见证下，由领队一起将这份荣耀献给每一位辛苦的勇士团队。一样看向前方。好的，继续来欢迎体能教练郑维轩。好，看前方。好的，接下来来欢迎助理教练江志胜。一样看向前方。好的，继续来欢迎助理教练林伟浩。接着来欢迎助理教练魏维。好的，继续来欢迎助理教练吴永仁。好，来看前方。 好的，接下来最后一起来欢迎总教练许晋哲。来看前方。好，谢谢我们辛苦的教练团队。接下来要来一一的欢迎我们每一位勇士球员出场。首先欢迎赖廷恩。好的，接着要来欢迎林书伟。好的，继续来欢迎简伟如。好的，接下来一起来欢迎年度 MVP 曾宗宪。好的，接下来继续来欢迎钟桂瑜。好的，接下来一起来欢迎野兽林志杰。好的，继续来有请林梦煦。好的，接下来邀请队长蔡文成。好的，继续来欢迎我们的 Final MVP 辛特利。好，稍微上前一步。好的，接下来继续欢迎曾祥勋。 的，接下来继续来欢迎Fubon石伯恩。来，继续来欢迎年度洋将小夫赛瑟夫。好的，接下来继续来欢迎曾文鼎。好，接下来呢？除了我们现有的队职员之外，我们也特别邀请了去年跟我们一起奋战的勇士球迷们回来，那么也要接受大家对他们的感谢。现在让我们一起来欢迎林冠军。即便我们现在身处不同队，但是我们还是要非常感谢他们去年一起的付出。这座冠军是我们一起努力来的，谢谢。接下来要来欢迎大家的好朋友，欢迎贾西亚 ，Welcome Chuck。好的，我们请 Chuck 跟 Chris 留步。我们要再一次邀请所有的队职员一起来到舞台中间，来到场中央，我们要来进行纪念的合影。也谢谢大家跟我们一起见证、分享这份荣耀。好的，我们 Angels 也将拿出我们的锦旗，一起来递上。我们来将锦旗交给球员们，好吗？好的，来，我们先一起看向正前方的媒体朋友，先看中间。好了，我们也请队职员们秀出我们手上的戒指，冠军戒。来，一样再次看向前方。好，目光帮我看左手边，也照顾一下左边。好，再来右手边的朋友，这边右手边，目光帮我看右手边。好的，也特别谢谢我们的冠军以及 Chuck， 请先回席，我们要再来继续来合影。我们先掌声谢谢 Chuck 以及冠军今天特地回来跟我们一起分享这份荣耀。那我们场上球员请先留步，还有教练团，谢谢。好的，我们场上球员再一次，这一次我们一样，再一次比一。今年的目标，凭我相信，连霸绝对不是问题。秀出我们戴上冠军戒的那一只，比出1，看向正前方。正前方。好，再来左手边的目光，帮我看向左手边。左边，好，再来看向右边，各位的右边。好的，再一次掌声谢谢给我们辛苦的教练团队。接着勇士们请先留步，还有一张勇士们，我们也谢谢我们辛苦的教练团队。勇士们一样，可以再聚集一点，靠近一点我们的冠军奖杯。这一次我们一样，我们右手或是左手秀出你们的冠军戒好吗？一起向前摆出来，秀出你们的冠军戒，向前挥出去，来看向正前方。这代表着 台湾这20多年来首支职业冠军篮球队。好，目光看向左手边，再来右手边的朋友，最后回到中间，再看一次中间。好的，全场再一次掌声送给台北富邦勇士。好的，也请先球员们回席，我们请文成留步，我们请队长文成留步，也要来邀请队长来跟所有现场的球迷朋友一起来分享这一次拿到冠军奖杯还有冠军戒指的这份荣耀。
很开心，大家今天可以进场来观看我们的颁奖仪式跟我们的比赛，然后未来我们各位会继续努力，希望抛下彩带的那一天可以让你们一起参与。最后还是感谢大家愿意进看我们比赛，谢谢。
再一次掌声送给蔡文成，谢谢文成。
球迷朋友们，现在介绍本场比赛双方球队登录名单。首先介绍客队福尔摩沙台新梦想家，球衣背号0号陈正杰，8号王正源，11号林俊吉，18号杨胜燕，24号沃克，26号李德威，42号 Julian Boy， 97号郑子阳。先发球员 Starting Five 背号7号前锋陈立焕，14号后卫吴永胜，21号前锋简浩，23号 Number 23钱肯尼，34号 Number 34 Brandon Gilbert。台新梦想家总教练 Head Coach 凯尔 Julius， 助理教练 Assistant Coach 赖柏林刘文和，汤马斯罗伊亚克斯。防护员侯耀新，球队管理王玉志，总经理剧院韩俊凯。球迷朋友们，全新的赛季，我们将以卫冕目标迈进，相信自己没有极限，相信队友，相信教练，相信球迷朋友们的支持力量，相信富邦勇士无限的可能。今年也再次打造热血沸腾的勇士主场。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youth. The long off season is over. The preseason beta has been tested, and now it's time to enter 2.0. Welcome to opening day of the Plus League preseason. Our matchup is the same as last season's opener and the same as the Plus League finals from our first season. It's the Formosa Taishin Dreamers coming in to face the Taipei Fubon Braves. Welcome everybody to the broadcast. I'm Ryan Chen, your English play-by-play as always, and as always, we'll be joined by Coach Ben Metcalf on the call.
Hey Ryan, great to be here for season 2.
Very excited to be here. We've got through the off-season journey, shall we call it, Coach. We had the 5 games in 2 days odyssey. That was very trying.
Yeah, it was a good preseason for the Plus League here. Again, we got to see a lot of these new teams in action. We got to see a lot of new players. And today we're going to get to see some new imports and see how our championship matchup from last year looked.
A lot of bit of nitty-gritty to get through when it comes to the registered players and the rosters coming up. But we've reviewed this during the preseason, but I guess it's worth reviewing again. Coach, you had a lot of things happen during the offseason. The draft for the first time, the rule book was released, referees got a lot of new technology, and the preseason showed us 2 new teams to the league.
Yeah, so like you said, a lot of changes this summer, but we start out the second season of the league here with where we ended off last season. So right back where we started, Ryan.
Recap things a little bit. Last season ended unfortunately when there was local infection here in Taiwan, and so the Plus League finals were cut after 4 games, and the Braves were decided to be the champions with a 3-1 series lead. Heading into the second season of our league, they'll be starting things off. First game against the Dreamers, their opponents in the finals, and then they play again tomorrow. So got fatigue on their mind and only playing 10 guys on their registered roster for today.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it. We haven't gone to the lineups for each team, but these Braves being out essentially 4 rotation players against the team that wants to beat them the worst. It's going to be quite a challenge for them to have this back-to-back in the first opening weekend.
Meanwhile, at the same time, the Dreamers have a couple guys working their way back from injury, so not playing hardly any time during the preseason. The guys like Julian Boyd and Derek Lee, though, also finding their legs underneath them as the season gets started.
Yeah, definitely going to be a challenge these first couple games. Again, like you mentioned, the Dreamers were short a lot of guys for the preseason, so they had a short rotation for those few games. But now we're going to have to see how those starters get acclimated to the regular season.
Before we came into the broadcast, the Taipei Fubon Braves held their ring ceremony, gifting each of their players and the coaching staff rings, so hope you enjoyed that. Previously on the screen was the head coach, Roger Xujingze, who's run a couple titles in this beautiful island we have, and something that Coach Ben's familiar with.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to be part of his coaching staff for 4 championships in a row and on the national team, so good to see him get back onto the championship stand right there. And great to see the Fubon team do a good job with the ring ceremony and all that comes with winning a championship.
Something that we kind of had to make fun of ourselves a little bit, but first few games in the season, got to get all the ceremonial photographs on the floor.
Hey, that's how it is, Ryan, these days. If you don't take a picture, it didn't happen, right?
That's exactly how it works. The tallest man on the floor is Samuel DeGrar. He's right on top of the timeline. It's going to be a huge impact on the league, him, and we expect Simbular for the Hsinchu Jeko Lioneers. But in this game, Coach, I'd expect that the Braves want to play at a slightly slower pace than they would like to, kind of rest the guys' legs a little bit for tomorrow as well.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, some of their rotation players or some of their younger players, so they're probably going to rely a lot on their veterans. And like you said, with DeGuar, you're not going to play at too fast of a pace, especially that's what these Dreamers really want to do.
And on the other side, Brennan Gilbeck, the center for the Dreamers, an import. Coach Julius always says a lot that he is the first true center that he is actively searched for his team. Will be taking up a lot of the pressures from Derek Lee, the way who's not only battling injury, but also kind of getting up there in, shall we say, experience, Coach.
Yes, more and more experience as we go through the years. But as Coach Julius mentioned last year, for those of you that followed our league, the Dreamers went the entire season without an import big. So a lot of that defending the bigs was taken care of by locals. So it's going to be interesting to see how these Dreamers adjust to having an import big, somebody who can protect the paint. We saw a little bit of him in action in the preseason, and I say a little bit because I think he fouled out of every game he played in, especially against the likes of Simboar. So it was a challenge for him in the preseason, but I'm sure Coach Julius and the coaching staff have talked him up and taught him up, and he's ready to get going for this tip-off.
Also shown tremendous potential on the defensive end as well. There's the Braves bench, and Jonathan coming over to maybe basking a little bit of that championship light. Previously didn't mention on the Mandarin call, Kuike Tianwon and Chen Ziwei, head coach for the Zhengda basketball team at the UBA level here on the Mandarin call. 球迷朋友要看收看我们的中文转播，按我们中文转播连接就可以了。
Geez, I've been around too long. On one end, it's my former head coach, and on the other end, it's one of my former players. Jeez, I'm getting old, Ryan. Thank you for not commenting.
One thing, Coach, that was a huge deal of this offseason, though, that spanned more than 200 days is a lot of the player movement that has gone on. For the Braves in particular, though, said goodbye to 2 guys in free agency and only signed 1 guy back while maintaining their 3 imports. So not a lot of turnover, but that experience, but also injury kind of propping up in the preseason, a big problem for them.
Yeah, they've been fortunate to have a lot of continuity in their roster and on their coaching staff. Again, we see Igor Zaitsev right there, who's not on the roster for today, but he's an import that they brought back from last year's championship team. And again, it's always nice for a coaching staff to have a bunch of players who know the system, know what he expects, and know how to win.
And then the other side, the Dreamers, we mentioned Gilbeck earlier. All 3 imports, in fact, are new. And I think maybe I want to focus on the domestic players. There's Aji and Derek, we mentioned, who will be mainstays of their rotation, but a lot of new faces for the team and trying to maintain an identity of playing fast and playing on the perimeter.
Yeah, and they got a lot of guys that really fit into their system. Again, Coach Julius loves to play fast pace, loves to get those threes up and down, loves to space the floor. So again, you mentioned the locals. They brought in Doug Creighton, who really fits Coach Julius' system. They brought in Calvin Chen, who was playing for the Lioneers last year. Definitely some guys who are going to have an impact on this Dreamers roster.
Now, it's kind of interesting when it comes to the Dreamers. They allow one of the highest field goal percentages last season, but also the least shots. So controlling pace and also disrupting the opponents on the offensive end will be a big thing. Well, we did mention in the preseason we have a new crop of referees, but for today's game, 3 familiar faces, including Lai Jianzong, who will be the crew chief there in the middle. But officiating, something we will talk to the league about and talk throughout the broadcast about how they'll improve. Starting lineups for the Dreamers from left to right: Gilbeck, Calvin, Jianhao, Doug, Jeff, and on the far right, it's Chen Kenny. Now for the Braves from left to right, it's Dagara, Beast, Lin Zijie, Li Mengxue, Ray, Finals MVP Michael Singletary, and the season MVP Jet Zhang Zhongxie.
Yeah, so right off the bat, we can see the Braves not really playing with a traditional point guard. Again, both injured, and we've seen that the Braves kind of struggle with that during the preseason. Again, not really finding somebody who can initiate the offense and set the pace. So that's going to be something where, regardless whether it's Beast or Jet or Singletary, they're going to have to step up and kind of help out this Braves roster.
Now, defensively for the Braves, if you're a stat nerd like I am, they allow the most 3-point attempts, but also the lowest percentage. And the lowest number of 2-point attempts, but also the lowest percentage. So the Braves strong on the inside, and that's an area that the Dreamers want to be strong at, is shooting from the perimeter.
So you telling me that defense wins championships, man?
It sounds like defense wins championships.
That's what I hear.
So they might want to play small, but this lineup is quite a bit bigger than perhaps some of their smaller lineups of last season, with, I believe, Kenny, the shortest guy in that little huddle there.
Yeah, again, as we've seen, three new local faces for this Dreamers starting roster and 1 new import. Again, they've upgraded in size of talent, in terms of size, and also in terms of experience. So that's something that I'm sure Coach Julius is thrilled about going into this season. It may take a little while for them to kind of get on the same page. As we mentioned earlier, they didn't get a lot of playing time together in the preseason, but it's going to be exciting.
Every season, the teams come up with a new team slogan. For the Braves, it will be "We Believe," kind of like the Golden State Warriors with the same Mandarin name. That's a whole Mandarin lesson that we are too early to get into, Coach.
Oh, I've been waiting. It's been 2 weeks since our last broadcast, Ryan, and I haven't learned any Mandarin at all in these past 2 weeks. So
you are very sheltered at your workplace.
It's a rough life.
Now for the Dreamers, it is no doubt Wu Yongzhi. While we're getting through some of the notes we had pregame, there's the ceremony to first tip that's going to be going up. Dugara listed at 230 centimeters. On the other side, Gilbeck is listed at 213 centimeters. So
see Gilbeck telling our VIP how to do the opening tip. Giving him the cue to throw the ball up in the air, but again, first assist of the game before we even get the tip off.
Gilbeck did play in all 4 of the Dreamers preseason games. So maybe conditioning or getting used to the game and used to Coach Metcalf will always say the officiating. Slight advantage to the young 24-year-old import. The tip is up and the Dreamers will get started with it. Calvin from the wing now to Doug. They switch it over to Jeff. Williamson will shoot from high and hit the first 2 points of Plus League second season.
Yeah, and those mid-range jumpers are going to be open for these Dreamers all game. Again, Duguay, not somebody who's going to pop up and show, be aggressive on those pick and rolls. Nice shot making to start out the game.
Fans who watched our games last year might have noticed we got a new basketball going as Jet with a nice lay-in.
Yeah, as we know, these Dreamers love to start out in zone looks. Again, good job there by the Braves to get an easy look at the basket.
A rebound, and here come the Braves. Jet, another shot attempt. In and out. There's Degara taking his time. Tough shot. Good stop by the Dreamers.
Yeah, you said, and right off the bat, we can see Gilbeck doing a better job of just going up vertical and challenging shots, not getting in foul trouble early yet.
I mentioned new basketball, new official basketball for the Plus League season will be going with Molten. Thanks to them for supporting the league and supporting basketball in all sports here in Taiwan. Doug Kenny in the baseline. He finds a little bit of space. His runner, no. And there's...
Oh, they really wanted to make everybody know that the shot clock expired there, Ryan. Apparently before the shot clock, a foul on Singletary.
Last year in the finals, there was an issue with the shot clock, mainly that the clocks on either end of the basketball court were actually going off on different timings. And with the first made basket, basketball will be put away in safekeeping with the league. And momentum, we'll remember last year, Amigo Yang Jiming made the first basket and the first points for the inaugural season as Kenny knocks down the free throw. Two for two from the line. Now the Dreamers apply a little bit of pressure.
Again, this is where these Braves are going to have a challenge. No real point guard on the floor with this Dreamers full court pressure. Again, struggle for them to get the ball over half court.
Dreamers also like to switch a lot on defense, but Gilbeck's back. And he puts a hand up to disrupt DeGuara's shot again.
Yeah, good job just pushing him out of his spot. Again, awkward spot by DeGuara right there.
Tip from Doug, no good, and the Braves will eventually control it.
Doug is overestimating his teammates' leaping ability right there.
Beast with a step back. His shot off to the right. The Dreamers with an early 4-2 lead. Now Gilbeck with pace, he's fouled in the inside.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be Singletary's second foul. Again, good job by Gilbeck just running down, rim running, getting deep position. Again, able to create the foul.
Fans who are not familiar with Plus League basketball, the first 3 quarters you can play both your imports on the active roster, but in the 4th quarter only one. Some action going on that leads to a missed shot where Ray Mumshire went down. He's back up.
It's going to be interesting to see how these Dreamers rotate their imports. Again, with Julian Boyd not playing at all in the preseason, as you see Kenny Chen, the nice 3-pointer. But again, he's on the roster for today. Has not gotten in the game as of right now. Not sure if it's a calculated decision rotation-wise or if he's not going to play at all.
Now Degara fouled on his way to the basket, and one opportunity coming up.
That's the old Maltese step, right? The big center from Malta, and that's the issue that Gilbeck's had the entire preseason. Again, getting in foul trouble quickly, early. Again, here gets caught, and then the nice fancy footwork for the N1.
His previous shot attempts, Degara not showing off hardly any touch, I should say. Got the N1 there.
And the thing for him is, as we see Gilbeck get subbed out, but DeGuara doesn't have the intent to score by himself as much as some other imports. Again, he's a willing passer. He's a good passer. Loves to go with those baseball style passes. So again, it's something that the teams will start scouting for him, and it'll be interesting to see how that evolves going forward.
Makes the free throw, and it's a 2-point game as Derek Lidowe sets the screen. We hadn't seen him all preseason for the Dreamers. He registered for all 4 games as there's a turnover on the missed handoff. There's an alley and almost rolled it in. Beast to Degara. After the reset, here's Beast again, knocks it down.
Yeah, and those are those rebounds that you got to have if you're the Dreamers. Those ones that bounce in the mid-range. Yeah, and those loose balls, you know anything by the basket is going to be DeGuara's. Anything in the mid-range, you got to grab.
Now an offensive foul and an illegal screen, and I believe Derek Lidowe will have one to his tally.
Yeah, again, those offensive rebound 3-pointers are so tough to guard. Beast with a nice 3-pointer.
I don't know if he appreciates it, but he is the oldest player in the Plus League. Still, also perhaps the most popular.
He might be the oldest basketball player in Taiwan. I mean, professional. Grandpa out there playing basketball.
Another floater made. It's Kenny Chen.
Yeah, we've seen in the preseason, Kenny's definitely diversified his offensive game. As we see DeGuara get very low position, and that's going to be the struggle. Again, if you don't get to him early and push him out, it's really tough to stop him if he catches it by the dotted line right there.
I believe that might be on Calvin, who came over to help.
I'm pretty sure Calvin's not saying it's his foul. I'm pretty sure he's saying he was straight up and down. But again, these refs disagree, and that's really all that matters.
He'll head toward the bench. Coach Julius there in front of the LED boards, coaching the Dreamers for, shall we say, second and a half season, as their partial season in the ABL cut short.
Yeah, and as we talked about, he's got a lot more players that he can use in his rotation. Again, these Dreamers in the past having a very short rotation, but we've seen today, again, they have a lot of locals that they can use and a lot of locals that can be contributors for this team.
Poked out of bounds. Jeff tried to find Derek underneath. Also in the game for the Dreamers is number 18, Yang Sen-Yen. He's set up in the corner closest to you on the screen. Derek will shoot a quick one right out of bounds. It'll be Braves' rebound.
Derek probably the most important local player for these Dreamers last season. Again, improved quite a bit, really held down the middle for him. Didn't see any action in the preseason with an injury, so again, a lot of conditioning that he's got to get through. Again, just getting back into game action. So again, it's gonna take a little while for Derek as he's had a rough start today.
Beast, another step back, taking a lot of the offensive load as Degara dunks it home on the offensive rebound.
Again, so we said those offensive rebounds right next to the basket, they're going to be Degara's, so anything in kind of that mid-range, you got to get it for the Dreamers.
That's 8 points and 2 rebounds. As Doug drives, lays it, comes out.
And that's what DeGuara in the paint does for you. Just affecting shots as Singletary goes right through and around the Dreamers defenders, laying it up in transition.
Kenny will try to counter and gets the foul.
Yeah, Kenny just kind of putting his head down, driving into bodies and being aggressive in transition as these Braves a little bit late after the made bucket.
After a flurry of action, we'll be going to our very first timeout of the season, a TV timeout. Back after this, fans. Welcome back inside Heping Gymnasium here in Taipei, home of the Taipei Fubon Braves. Champions of the Plus League inaugural season, getting things kicked off here. The fans in that section, part of a Braves partner event. And a lot of them sporting the cheer fans, shall we call them, the ones that you smack into your own hand for extra decibels.
I don't think that's what it's called, but I don't know what it's called, so I couldn't tell you.
Thanks a lot for that, Coach.
Cheer fan it is, Ryan. Sorry.
Very well. Coming out of the first break, Samuel DeGuara has been the driving force for the Braves after Beast, of course, knocked down his three, and then the Dreamers started off early, but now have to settle in defensively a little bit.
Yeah, and that's something that these teams in the league are going to have to adjust to. Again, most leagues in the world are going smaller and smaller, going 5 out. Here in Taiwan, we've got Sim Bolar and Sam DeGuara, some of the biggest basketball players in the world. So definitely some unique challenges for every team and every matchup. So it'll be interesting to see which teams are able to take advantage of that speed advantage.
Number 11, Aji Ling Junji is in the game. Looked like he commit the foul. Jet almost flew out of the court.
And that's where we see if these Braves are able to get the ball over half court, they're going to have some mismatch advantages. And there, Jet able to get into the body of the smaller defender and create a Dreamers foul.
Gilbeck's back in, and Randall Walko, haven't seen him all preseason, on the bottom of that 2-3 zone. Beast to DeGuara, lays it in easy.
And once again, the Dreamers with the zone look. Braves well prepared, screening that middleman and just kind of throwing it up over the top and letting DeGuara get there.
Hand off to Achi. Winston's trying to mark him, the captain of the Braves. That driving kid game. Gilbeck will shoot the long 2 in and out off of the Braves in a funny ricochet.
And that's where Gilbeck's going to have to figure out how to take advantage of DeGuara. Right now, with he and Derek in the game at the same time, the Braves are defending him like he's a 5, but he's probably should be able to step out and create some opportunities for himself or his teammates. Just put some pressures on this Braves defense.
Walko knocks down his first shot.
And that's something that these Dreamers are thrilled to see. And Walko, a guy who came in midway through the season last year for this Dreamers team and played really well for a rookie. As Beast hits another one from downtown against that zone. But these Dreamers have a lot of guys who can contribute, and they have a lot of guys who didn't play in the preseason and who are still looking to get in shape.
There's a 3-second call as Derek had an opportunity.
Yeah, Derek kind of creating that turnover for his teammate by not putting it up right away. Gilbert getting called for the 3 seconds.
I think if it was last season, we would have expected a lot more rotation with the Braves, but so far, Beast and Jet haven't come out of the game yet.
And that's mostly results of them only having 10 guys on the active roster. There's not a lot of places that Coach Roger can go, especially when you're opening night and you want to get this win.
Nice pick and roll as Li Mengxue gets on the board.
Yeah, nice footwork there, and the lefty able to get it up over the defensive go-back.
Mengxue, a guy that the Braves like to start as there is a turnover. Fancy pass, 1-2, and a missed dunk at the rim by Mengxue. Beast will try to make it up. And good team rebounding by the Dreamers.
Yeah, you said it, Ryan. Good job by Gilbeck just tipping it out, and his teammates picking up that mid-range rebound.
Walker will go to the basket, and Degara playing keep away. Winston. Degara finally finishes as a couple Dreamers are underneath the basket.
Yeah, you said it, the 2 biggest Dreamers out of bounds on the floor. Degara with the easy rebound, and even easier putback as these Braves have doubled up the Dreamers here halfway through the first quarter.
So as much as I was talking about the Braves want to slow it down, if they get the basketball, they do want to push it up ahead. They do have the bigger bodies, especially without their guards and the likes of Bai Tingan, the little race car, or Joseph Lin, or even Jinwei Lu as well.
And that's an issue we've also seen for these Dreamers in the past couple seasons. A lot of long rebounds, a lot of fast break opportunities for their opponents. And Degara is not somebody who's going to slow run down the floor on offense. He's a guy who's going to sprint. We saw right there, able to get that tip and the easy second chance opportunities in transition.
Partially listening in to the Braves timeout. Sound provided by our partners at Momo TV.
来防守，我们走一球，哎，这个时候，喂，突突万直接走一球中突万发倒落下。
Sounds like the Braves might be going in a zone to start off the next possession. Would be to their advantage with their bigger bodies and longer arms.
Yeah, we saw them working on that quite a bit in the preseason. And Coach Roger, obviously with the luxury, like we talked about, an established roster and some continuity, they can work on some different things. And with Degara being a new import who's very different to play with, a lot of different things you have to get used to.
Jackie, Zhang Gongyu, number 29, is the Braves' only addition during the offseason, coming over from the Pilots.
And you said it, Ryan. They're going with the 2-2-1 full court. Token pressure into this 2-3 zone defense.
Floater by Aji is all net.
And that's what we've seen him be able to do against every team in the league. Get to that mid-range float game, which he's probably one of the best in Taiwan.
Jet finds Degara. His right hook, no. Long rebound to Sun Yin.
Once again, good job by these Dreamers to stop that roll before Degara can get it to the dotted line and taking advantage of numbers in transition for wide open three-pointers.
Nice shot by Walko, but he got it back and leads to Kenny. To Walko rebound. Tough shot and nice make.
And that's what these Dreamers need from Walko, his energy. We saw him get an opportunity in transition and then get an offensive rebound and a putback. That's something that this Dreamers team needs from him.
Also part of Aji's game, playing very aggressive on the defensive end. That time, a foul.
Well, we've seen them going full court press in spurts during the game. With a deeper roster, with a younger roster, a faster roster, that's what you'd expect more from them, because as we see Degara get that rest, you know when he gets it low in the post, it's going to be tough for this Dreamers team to stop him.
Back in the game is Michael Singletary, and for the first time in the game is Jiang Zhenxiangjun. First free throw made by Jet Zhang Zongxian.
Yeah, last year's MVP played quite a bit of point for these Braves last year, but understanding that that kind of takes a toll on your body, since they're also their primary defender. Coach Roger trying to get some other people some experience at the point, and now we'll see the Josh adventure at point. As we mentioned earlier, we saw a little bit of the second-year player playing the point in the preseason, and it had mixed results, to be very polite.
Meanwhile, there's a foul for position. That's Zheng Xiangjun, the young center or power forward for the Braves, trying to defend Gilbeck.
And these are the minutes where Gilbeck's just got to put it to these Braves. DeGuara's out. Here's a chance for him to do what he does best, regardless whether it's distribute or drive or get buckets in the post. And he's got to start being much more aggressive offensively to make it difficult for these Braves to defend.
Speaking of Gilbeck, Calvin finds him, but he's got a lot of attention, so the Dreamers rotate it. Ball goes 3 attempts, short. Michael Singletary with a rebound.
Good job just driving, kicking inside out and getting good shots, just not able to hit that three-pointer.
Singletary with space right into Kenny, and that'll be called for a charge.
And that's going to be his third. Singletary telling Coach Roger earlier, you can put me back in, and Kenny, good job anticipating that drive, putting his body right in the way of that Singletary drive, and again, easy call for the refs right there. As Kenny doesn't take it in the chest, he takes that one in the face.
Indeed is the third foul for Singletary, so at least we expect for the rest of the first quarter, a very short Braves rotation.
I guess would be the first half, especially if these Braves continue to be up by double digits.
Another mid-range by Jeff. Planks way off the mark, and new into the game is Brendan Smart.
Yeah, we said earlier those mid-range jumpers are going to be open for these Braves or for these Dreamers all day. Not able to hit that one though.
Zheng Xiangjun will try from 3, and it's in.
And that's going to be an issue. If these locals are going to be able to put it to the Dreamers import, there's something that these Dreamers have to figure out.
Made a name for himself in the first season, defending and then putting in some two-handed dunks, but now showing off the range as Kenny's nice spin move. Fortunately, the basketball went to Gilbeck, and another 3-second call.
I'm not sure how that's a 3-second call. That was an offensive rebound, or I don't know, maybe the refs thought it was a pass, but once again, we see Gilbeck catching it deep in the paint, not even looking at the basket, looking to pass out. That's something that the Braves and other teams are going to start scouting for.
That's the thing about the Dreamers. They had the lowest turnover rate last season at 12.8 per game, but 5 so far in just the first quarter. Zhou in the air. The Smart with a dribble pull-up. Would have been a tough shot. Gilbeck comes down with it.
Yeah, not a great possession for the Braves right there. And that's what we've seen with Josh, number 8 in there at the point. Not a lot of continuity, not a lot of rhythm on offense, so this is a good opportunity for these Dreamers to cut into the lead.
I think it's all 5 players for the Braves are subs, as there's a turnover, and Zheng Xiangjun tries to go with a spin move, but got caught up. It would be a foul.
Yeah, so once again, we see the turnover, these Braves being able to get out in transition and just putting a lot of pressure on these Dreamers off defense. Once again, 2 shots from the line.
For those of you keeping track, that's Zheng Xiangjun, Shi Boen, Brendan Smart, and Zhou Guiyu, all second-year players, along with the very new Zhang Genyu Jackie, with, of course, the captain. So, interesting lineup construction, but that's kind of where the Braves situation is to start the season. Made free throw there.
And that's something that these Braves are going to have to work on. We've talked earlier about they have a lot of experience on that bench.
A lot of experience.
Yeah, we talked about Beast being the oldest professional player here in Taiwan, the landlord. So they're going to have to start getting some of these younger people up to speed. And that's where they're going to count on them going through the season.
Doug to Kenny. Gilbeck passing it out again. Jeff doesn't want to take that 3, so it'll be Kenny from the corner and gets the soft roll.
Kenny really the only Dreamer that's got it going today, playing at a regular season pace. Really keeping the Dreamers in this game so far.
Winston, the baseline, but stopped.
Yeah, nice help by Calvin there, just going straight up and down as Kenny not able to finish in transition.
Nice block by Jackie as 3 players go to the floor, and Jackie trying to recover from maybe a head knock to the floor.
Yeah, Jackie taking the worst of that mid-air collision. Good job defensively, but looks like he's okay.
He's on his feet right now. We'll see that one again. We'll remember that. Unfortunately for Jackie, was on the Randall Walco poster, but put on a good block there. Another angle of it. One hand, then 2 hands, then head to the baseboard, not the floorboard. Gilbeck with room, lays it in.
Yeah, first time we've seen him really be aggressive, looking to attack. Easy layup there. That's what these Dreamers are going to need more of if they want to compete in this game.
Now Gilbeck defending the perimeter. His first points of the game and of the season.
That's what these Dreamers are going to do. They're going to get up, go pressure. They're going to switch a lot of stuff. And once again, we see Josh with the turnover off the pick and roll.
Dreamers get it to Calvin, who lays in the last shot. Little delay of game.
That's a pretty big delay of game as he just threw that over there. I'm not sure if they're going to add time on the clock, but we just said these Dreamers are going to need to take advantage of the time where Josh is at the point guard. We've seen them cut a double-digit lead here to 7 points. That's exactly what they need going into this break between quarters.
Indeed, a warning as that 3-quarter shot lands short. That'll be the first quarter, first game of the Plus League second season. Thank you, fans, for tuning in. We'll be going to a break and back with the rest of the action.
双手拍手。再一次掌声，谢谢富邦 Angels， 也来跟大家一一的介绍。今天有我们的柠檬，以及我们的卡卡，还有 Amber， 以及慈美，还有友友，还有 Tiffany， 秀秀子、莹莹，要一起来继续跟大家陪伴，一起为勇士队加油！谢谢各位。
Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Taipei time is the Kaohsiung Steelers, who defeated the Mighty Braves in the preseason, coming into Heping to take on the champs. Watch it on the Plus League YouTube page, P.LEAGUE. Coach, there's some fans wearing some fan gear I don't recognize.
Lots of people from Kaohsiung up here in Taipei for basketball action. And back on the court is Sam DeGuara. His coach Roger doesn't like to see that double-digit lead get cut down to 7, so not much of a rest there for DeGuara.
Another beast in DeGuara screen and roll, and one at the basket.
And we see that Spain pick and roll action coming out of the timeout. Usually that's a Dreamer special. This time the Braves using it. Beast able to get by the small is nothing for him, and able to get to the line for an and one opportunity.
Number 12, Beast, already with 8 points, 2 assists and 2 rebounds.
And that's something that in the preseason. He did not have a great preseason. Not a great shooting performance. Looked kind of out of it, but with these veterans, you know that they'll be able to pick their spots, and he's going to be ready for the regular season. And through this first quarter, he certainly is.
There's Doug from deep. Leaves it off to the right. There's Beast once again.
And we see the Josh at point guard experiment ending very quickly, and these Braves starting to look a little bit more organized and on offense.
Winston looking for DeGara. He's pressured. Underneath, Brandon Smart finds some space.
Yeah, with those Dreamers switching everything. DeGuara attracting two. Great cut, great find. 2 points for the Braves. As Kenny once again able to get to the basket, finish over the imports. 2 more points for the Dreamers playing the best today.
Threw it to nobody and threw it to nobody. So 2 turnovers in a row as there's a block shot. Gilbeck on Winston. Brandon Smart's 3, no good. And here come the Dreamers. Loose with the basketball everywhere.
It's not something you see every day. The 230-centimeter big going down to the ground, getting the loose ball, and then going to the other end and catching the ball and finishing. Well, maybe not.
And that will be an offensive 3 seconds. So, well, there's 3 guys, maybe enough pressure.
That's where we've seen sometimes DeGuara is not the most aggressive player offensively. And willing to show off that footwork, and that time showing off a little bit too much in the paint.
It's a pick and roll. Jeff trying to find space. It'll be Calvin's turn as Beast got into the body and commit the foul. His scoring high last season was 27. Might be a little early to be gunning for it, but he's got a good start so far in this game as Derek comes into the game.
Yeah, we've seen Coach Julius be very active with those substitutions. 2 minutes in there for Gilbeck before getting Derek back in. And I'm sure a lot of this is trying to get Derek back in game shape. I'm sure some of it is trying to talk to Gilbeck about what he needs from him, but more active rotation here for the Dreamers.
Another missed shot by Doug. He is 0 for 4 in this one so far. 0 for 5 now. So, unfortunately, a little reverse broadcaster's jinx. He'll get a chance as the Dreamers. 4 on 3. Jeff to the right, lays it up and in.
And that's where these Dreamers are going to have to attack. As slow as DeGuara is getting back defensively sometimes, they need to get there, get to the rim before he gets in the paint so they can get those easy baskets.
Derek commits the foul and DeGuara lays it in.
A nice decisive move right there from DeGuara. Got the drop step. Nice little chicken wing to Derek's upper torso. And once again, the line for an and one.
Two personals on Derek, lead the way. But missed free throw, so it will still be a 10-point game. 14 points for DeGuara and also 5 rebounds. Derek from the outside, his rainbow is no good.
Yeah, we saw him taking some steps to improve on that last season, but not being able to find our range so far today.
Now Jet with a head of steam. Poked out of bounds, good defense. A little bit of a lull right now. The only player to come over from the CBA is Jeff Ruyong-Sun. He's driving left. Now pick and roll. Doug will fire from deep, still no.
Doug really struggling in the first half so far. Had some moments in the preseason as he's even spent some time at the 5 for these Dreamers, but not being able to find the range today.
Winston shot fakes, now drives, his tough runner, no. And he pokes it all the way to Jet. And Brendan Smart, once again with a hustle board.
Yeah, those long rebounds, just able to tap it out to perimeter players and then second chance points. The Braves doing a good job being aggressive.
And he drives, swings it over to Doug. Just able to save it and showing off the good balance. But they're running out of time. Derek's elbow shot, no. Rebound by Doug. Reload. Still no good.
When these Dreamers aren't able to hit the three-pointers, it becomes really difficult for them to compete. They're able to shoot them 1 through 5, and just not able to make them 1 through 5 today.
So far, only 3 for 12. There's an alley too high. Winston with the offensive rebound or assist or just a loose ball.
Hey, if you can throw too high for DeGuara, then that's an issue.
Now trying to make even more magic, Doug throws it out of bounds.
And that's where we see DeGuara just doing a good job being aggressive defensively. We talked about him obviously being 230-some, but he's willing to get out on those rotations, something that some other imports might not be able to do. They're disrupting Doug's shot attempt and forcing a turnover.
Back in is Dogoyer, but he'll pass it off to Jet. Aji's in the game as well. He's defending the point. Now DeGar working over the right shoulder. Got another foul. It's like on Gilbeck.
Yeah, we continue to see DeGuara be able to catch these Dreamers defenders on his back. And once he gets it there, as the ref is telling Gilbeck how he fouled there, once DeGuara catches it there, it's really tough for anybody to do anything. DeGuara once again finding himself at the line.
Randall Walko coming into the game for Doug, as DeGara makes another free throw.
And that's the advantage that having DeGuara on your team does. You're going to get into the bonus early. You're going to get in the bonus with your local players, and it just puts so much pressure on you defensively that you can't play as free as you'd really like to.
Walko to Achi from top. Too strong. There's a long rebound by Chen. That's 0.
The Dreamers continue to use an extended rotation as we also see them to continue turning the ball over. Lots to go over at halftime for this Dreamers team.
Nice step back from Beast with a runner. Breaking this game open. Big lead for the Braves. Chen will fire off the mark.
Yeah, with this Braves lineup, just other than DeGuara, a lot of switching for them to be able to do. And we've seen them have some issues with turnovers in transition as well. Them getting one right there.
And he pulled it out, then drops it down. Gilbeck misses the dunk attempt. DeGuara was there. Here comes the Braves. Jet in transition, fouled, and the bucket.
Once again, Jet being able to take advantage in transition of the smaller Dreamers defenders. They're just able to go right around Aji, finish through contact, and once again, an and-one opportunity for these Braves. That's Beast, showing that preseason was an aberration, and he's ready for the regular season.
I believe that is Jet's first basket of the game. No, his second. Right now sitting at 6 and 7 points. The Dreamers also take a lot of pride on the defensive end, but it's kind of difficult when the scoring's kind of slowed down and you're often playing defense in transition.
Yeah, it's really tough to get matched up, and you're always chasing in transition. As we see a nice, well, I guess it wasn't so nice. We see a nice defensive effort as we see somebody down for the Braves grabbing an ankle.
That'd be number 12, Beast.
It looks like he got rolled up on by Walko after the foul by Smart. Walko, after getting fouled, come down on Beast's ankle. looks to be okay, but that's where these Dreamers are going to have to attack. With DeGuara on the court, you see he just did a great job on that last possession, defending both Kenny and then getting back to the rim to stop that Gilbeck dunk. If they're not able to attack in transition and not able to make threes, it's going to be really tough for them to be competitive in this game.
Missed by Walco as Beast went to the bench. Interesting note about Randall Walco is that is also now going to be written in the Mandarin with Xing, his mother's name, as Walco now has a ROC passport. A little wrinkle to our broadcast, maybe on the Mandarin side more than the English side.
Yeah, I'm still going to call him Randy, so it doesn't matter for me. But congratulations to him for grabbing that passport, and congratulations to the Dreamers for finding a solid player.
Chen driving right. Now Jeff's turn with a pull-up, and he buries it.
Yeah, after making the first one of the second season, finally able to get loose from mid-range again, something that these Dreamers need desperately.
Currently down by 18 as the Braves have broken it open in the second quarter. Jackie driving and blocked at the rim by Gilbeck. Loose ball foul.
That's where Gilbeck's teammates got to help him out. Great job right there by him to help on that drive. Nobody getting a piece of DeGuara, stopping that roll. Gilbeck once again with the foul, and once again finds himself in foul trouble for these Dreamers.
He's got 3. 16 points for DeGuara. Our chance to say hello to everyone watching on the B-League stream in our collaboration with Top League there in Japan, after, shall we say, attempting to broadcast theirs and some technical difficulties threw off their opening day broadcast back in September 30th, but getting our collaboration going once again for the Plus League season opener. Smith free throw, and here come the Dreamers. Randy trying to probe for space, wild left-handed layup, out.
I'm sure this is probably Randy's first experience going up against one of these monster bigs, and some of those finishes that we've seen him been able to make in the past a little bit of difficulty today, as we see Derek do a good job pushing DeGuara out of his spot.
With a repose, DeGuara with a one-handed finish.
Well, he pushed him out of his spot the first time, but that second time it's tough to defend DeGuara once he gets that deep possession.
Pick and roll, and Jeff will shoot another mid-range off the back of the iron.
Yeah, we see Derek really not being much of a threat off of that pick and roll, not popping, not really rolling, just kind of standing in no man's land, not putting a lot of pressure on this Braves defense.
Active hands, Braves poke it out of bounds.
Yeah, great help right there by Walco. I'm not sure if that's a game plan adjustment or an individual dig. Good job just having him get down, because when you let DeGuara get that position right there, there's really not much help anybody can give you.
Too close to the basket. Baseline out of bounds leads to Jackie's favorite baseline shot, and unfortunately, I believe I jinxed him, Coach.
I'll give you credit, because that was a wide open shot.
Does that improve my defensive rating?
Yes, you're the stats master, Ryan. I'm sure you have how many times you've jinxed people. I've stopped talking about people's free throws. How cold does Joe think it is in the arena? Like the big old fur coat there. It's what, 20-something outside?
That's where it's coldest, as there's a made shot by the Dreamers.
And that's what these Dreamers need to do. We see them getting a little three-man game on the weak side and hitting three-pointers, and then coming back the other way, forcing a turnover, and once again attacking in transition.
Kenny trying to find space with a tough layup. Another loose ball, look out. Chen will be the recipient.
And that's how these Dreamers need to play. We just said it, them just hustling. You see Dreamers on the floor. Chen right there, Derek that's how they're going to have to do it. They're just going to have to scrap and find open shots and make those open shots.
Now Chen Xiangjun working on his right ankle, as there's a timeout right now to kind of get everybody reset. Looks like a right foot, yeah, indeed. I guess that will be our Mandarin lesson, is the fan chuan, for the boat to turn over, is how we describe some of these ankle rolls. See all the new improvements to the Plus League website with record holders, last season award winners, and more. Visit pleagueofficial.com. Unfortunately, right now the basketball court's not all that safe for either team, as Chen Xiangjun, a little bit of an ankle roll here.
Yeah, popped that a little bit. Last time we saw him in the playoffs, we saw him with a knee injury. This time, unfortunately, it looks like he's going out with that twisted ankle. Hopefully nothing too serious, but Coach Rogers still talking about the travel that wasn't called, and this is the first time we've seen him stand up this season. It was during the preseason. He let one of his assistants, Aaron, kind of take control of the play calling and the rotations. And I don't know. You think he was satisfied with the ref's explanation, Ryan?
Maybe not, but I think he spent most of that time out talking to the referee and not his own players. Has that ever happened? That happens actually all the time, doesn't it?
No comment.
Down screen, and Derek is left open. I don't see that a lot as his push shot is in.
No, but that's what we saw happen last time. Him being aggressive on the roll really opens things up for not just him, but his teammates as well. Last time being very indecisive, that time great roll. Found some open space for 2 points.
Running in low on the shot clock, Degara hesitated, then shot it.
Yeah, good defensive possession for those Dreamers. These Braves being bailed out by a 7'5" guy. So we've seen signs of life for this Dreamers team here as they continue to get some good shots and make them in the half court.
Another mid-range, this time off the bank, is Jeff Wu.
Yeah, important 2 minutes of the second quarter. See if the Braves are able to get it back to a 20-point lead, or if these Dreamers are able to cut it and get it to a single-point game.
Jackie from the right side this time gets the roll.
Yeah, that same Spain pick and roll out of the horn set. Good job by Jackie to find some space from the corner.
Jeff to Jay Chen from the corner. Got it.
Great job, just continue moving without the ball. A little mismatch there for the Braves, and Ray getting caught under the basket, and Jay Chen sprinting out to the three-point line where he's been the one guy who's shown some touch from three.
Degara to Jackie, his baseline counter.
Yeah, same spot, but once more we see these Dreamers starting to be more aggressive on the double. Randy once again digging in, and Degara once again making the easy pass.
Jay Chen fires and banks it home.
And you got it going. Jay Chen off that stagger, able to bank it from the top of the circle, and much needed for this Dreamers team.
Already 9 points as Jackie fires and rattles it in. The two of them going back and forth.
Jackie spending some time with the Dreamers last season before ending up on the Pilots roster. The big free agent acquisition for the Braves. And man, you said it, going mid-range for threes is something that the Dreamers are more than welcome to live with.
Block shot, but after the foul in transition.
Yeah, Braves just attacking one-on-one on the break. Back to the line for 2 free throws.
Chen was struggling mightily in the preseason, only 5 for 27, but finding the range in this one as we got a number of substitutions.
And that's something we saw from him last season. Inconsistent playing time, but regardless of when Coach Julius put him in the game, always ready to have a contribution, always ready to bring that energy. And same thing today after a tough preseason, coming in the game and really giving these Dreamers a much-needed spark.
Couple made free throws for Jackie Zhang Genyu. So last season, his breakout game was 27 points against the Lioneers as Derek misses a three. And the Dreamers will keep it off the hustle of Chen.
Yeah, with Derek not really being in shape, he's definitely looking to spend more time outside the three-point arc, especially going up against DeGuara. But we've seen him having success on the roll, opening things up, and we'll see if that's an adjustment that these Dreamers make going forward.
The Dreamers timeout, and my point was Jackie had his highest scoring game against the Lioneers, but the next three were all up against the Braves, and I'm kind of thinking facetiously if that weighed into their calculations for a free agency signing.
We see that happen a lot in the NBA. Doc Rivers, somebody who's famous for signing guys that may not have the best records in the past, but always have good games against him. And obviously, when you have good performances, it's something that's going to stick in the coach's mind.
Okay. And then we're going to go Vegas for Doug Lake. We're going to go Vegas for Doug Lake. You're going to have to screen your own man here.
Listening into the Dreamers timeout conducted by Coach Kyle Julius.
Coach Julius previously with a lot of coaching experience internationally. We've seen him in Canada, we've seen him in the ABL, and lots of basketball powerhouses in that league. We've seen people from Singapore have good basketball cultures, and it's good to see him bring a different kind of basketball style to this Taiwanese league.
Even though the Braves only lost one home game last year here at home in Heping Gymnasium in Taipei, Achi and Chen have had good performances in this arena. It's kind of perhaps one of those scouting report things where the Braves are prepared for your A and B options, but maybe a smaller role player at the time might be able to step up and find their space.
And that's something that's going to happen when the Dreamers imports get into the swing of things and on the court. A lot of these guys are probably a little bit better as role players and do a good job as role players. But with these Dreamers not having their full complement of imports and with Gilbeck struggling a little bit, not a lot of those opportunities.
Low on the shot clock, Walco still cold from the outside as Smart grabs the rebound and quick attack back for the Braves. Jet right into the defense, and that'll be another turnover. Half court, overshot.
Yeah, not a great finish of that second quarter for the Braves. Dreamers showing some signs of life, especially from behind the three-point line. So a lot of things for both teams to go over at halftime. That's what you'd expect in the first game of the second season.
30 points in the first quarter, 30 points in the second quarter. Braves lead this one 60-43. Thank you for watching Plus League Basketball, Premier League from Taiwan. We'll go to break before some halftime analysis.
没错，3号张中线。来，我先问一下，今天你预测就是中线投进来的举手，看一下有多少的机遇。哦，好，来，那我们请比尔来说好了。我先说，待会要来抽出，我们先抽2位，可以获得我们由 G01 所提供的 Fridays 双人餐券有2位，来帮我抽出第一位，编号0747，得奖名0747，举手，0747。那我们看一下有没有在现场这一位吗？0747，举手。好了，有了吗？好，赶快来到篮筐后方，赶快下来做集合，待会要来颁奖。第2位一样可以获得 Fridays 的双人餐券1917，来1917，举手哦，1917，再一次1917，有声音吗？哪里？1917，好，恭喜！来，赶快移动到我们篮筐后方下来，再来，这是前2位，比尔，接下来抽出一样。2位可以获得德州鲜切牛排双人餐券，太棒了！来，第1位要吃牛排的有2186在哪里？编号2186，举手。来，2186，让我找到你，赶快，你的得奖点2186，中线要请你吃牛排，快点，2186，举手一次。2186，哪里？2186在那边吗？不在哦。2186 2次。2186，掌声谢谢他。他可能不吃牛了，没关系，一样。要请你吃牛排的5834，举手。哪里？5834。哦，谢谢，来，赶快移动下来。5834，还有一位对不对？6664，3个6，一个4，6664，你的牛排已经好了，好，赶快下来，来，赶快下来，移动下来，好，以上4位先来我们的篮筐后方来集合报道，那么我们待会要来一起来领奖，好，谢谢。
Follow the Plus League on all these social media accounts. On Facebook, P.LEAGUE with a plus symbol. Instagram, P.LEAGUE.official. And on Twitter, at P_League_EN. On your screen are the Mandarin commentators for this Plus League game. Tiong Kuei, that's Mark. Next to our color commentator, Chen Ziwei. I'm Ryan Chen, joined by Coach Ben Metcalf on the English track. Welcome to all fans of the Plus League basketball here and worldwide. Looking at the box scores and, of course, using our memories of what just happened, Coach, Degar has kind of been the biggest storyline for this matchup, especially with Singletary in foul trouble.
Yeah, Degar is the biggest everything wherever he goes, I think. Just dominating this Dreamers' interior defense, and that's where we saw them do a little bit of an adjustment going towards the end of that second quarter, starting to dig in and help a little bit more. But on this night where the Braves got their championship rings pregame, them kind of picking up right where they left off last season, Ryan.
They finished with a 15-point win against the Dreamers. Unfortunately, the season and the series were put on hold because of the local COVID-19 infections. Meanwhile, for the Dreamers, a lot higher of a turnover and still very few assists on their end. But right now, the only shining star for them is Jeff, who, like we mentioned, struggled in the preseason, but will be taking on a huge role as the point for the team in the second season.
Yeah, and you'd really expect that from the Dreamers. We mentioned that as we see Randy Walker with a nice putback there, he didn't play a lot he didn't play at all in the preseason. Derek, their local center, didn't play at all in the preseason. Calvin missed some time, so they're still kind of getting back on track and finding out how to play together, as they have a lot of new guys in the rotation, whereas the Braves were able to, they had the luxury of being able to let guys rest and just have that chemistry already. So not much of a surprise there in the first half, but these Dreamers, after having Chen come in and late in the second quarter, showing a little bit of a spark on offense and getting back into into that Dreamers basketball.
Not to get too far ahead, but of course, the leading scorer for the Dreamers is Kenny. His work early and his hustle, his defense, and a little bit more creation on his end has been also an improvement for them that they want to see. As we see the combined team stats, the 60 to 43 lead, and of course the much better shooting percentage, have a slight advantage on the boards and more assists. Meanwhile, the turnover battle is kind of close.
Yeah, we see that almost 50% shooting from the Braves is going to be something that Dreamers coaching staff does not want to see. And if, we saw that the Dreamers started out really slow from the three-point line, but Chen able to kind of pick things up late to pull it to, it's about 30% from three, Ryan.
Indeed. Heading into the second season, we have 2 new teams and 42 more games on our regular season schedule. All that and more in the broadcast of Plus League Basketball. Be back after this. December 4th is the 338th day of the 2021-2022 season, and that's our viewership and like goal. Give the stream a like to support the Plus League. Top scorers for the Dreamers from top to bottom, it's Chen Kenny with 12 points, and Chen with his made threes, putting him at 9 points, and a little bit closer to the basket, Jeff Woo-Young-Sun with 8 points. Walco came in the game off the bench. His familiar role was 6 points, and Calvin hasn't played a lot in the first half. He's got 2. On the other side for the Braves, you mentioned Degara leading the way with 20 points already, and Beast with his hot shooting to start the game with 11. Jackie's in there with 8. MVP from the last season, Jet with 7. And the young center, Chen Xiangjun with 4.
mentioned DeGuara just being dominant there in the first half, 20 points, and Beast kind of showing something from his youth with 11 points. And that's why these Braves are up by 17 here at halftime.
Now, Coach, announced during the week is the Plus League champion will play in the East Asia Super League and the next season on the Wednesday games in their Final Four matchup, and the city to be determined, but very exciting incentives for the Plus League champion, who will find out as the duration of the season goes on. And
yeah, that East Asia Super League, just a great organization there. I've been fortunate enough to be invited to some of the games that they had initially, and just first class in everything they're doing. It's definitely an honor.
Second half after this. Welcome back to the broadcast. Taiwan is closing in on 20 million vaccinated. Get your information at www.cdc.gov.tw. Get your vaccination and stay safe from COVID-19. Inside Heping Arena, Heping Gymnasium, home of the champion Taipei Fubon Braves, getting warmed up before the second half action, where they lead this one comfortably by 17. You mentioned DeGuara was the big story. But unfortunately for the Braves, getting shorter and shorter in their rotation. Only had 10 guys for the active game day roster. But Beast had with a little bit of an ankle sprain, and we saw Chen go back into the locker room with his ankle sprain.
Yeah, and obviously with Singletary out with foul trouble in that first half, it's going to be something to look at going forward. Braves already starting out shorthanded, and these Dreamers wanting to play at a fast pace, and they have a pretty deep rotation that we've seen today, so the Dreamers definitely not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination.
On their end, we haven't seen their other import, Julian Boyd, and of course Ricky Lito still working his way into shape. getting out of quarantine. So on their side, also shorthanded in different areas.
Yeah, and we've seen Coach Julius go with a very, very deep rotation. He's gone with the quick rotations, getting guys in and out as we've seen them getting some guys back in shape and back on the court. So definitely things to work on for both teams here in the second half.
The guy in the back is James Mao, general manager for the new Taipei Kings. Next to him is one of their team leads in Jason. They're taking in the game along with a close to capacity crowd here in Huping as the players have taken the floor and are about ready to go for the second half. Dreams will start it off. Jeff to Calvin. It's their starting lineup for the Dreamers. Nobody's all that eager to take the shot until Kenny floats it in front of DeGara as Gilbeck is down on the floor.
Once again, Kenny just being aggressive in all facets of the game, getting it to go over DeGuara, as you mentioned. Gilbeck taking a shot after that Kenny make. It's like he got pushed into DeGuara's shoulder.
Don't want to see that. But now he's up and he's kind of worked off the kinks.
But that time the Dreamers doing what they do best, going side to side, getting multiple pick and roll actions, getting DeGuara to move a little bit. And that's really the key in attacking one of the big guys like this. You can't let him stay in the same spot. You got to move him left to right. As we see the Dreamers once again, just the hard digs right off the catch and forcing DeGuara to kick the ball out.
Blanks out, and another miss by DeGuara. Finally finishes it on the second try.
And those ones under the basket, it's really tough to ask anybody to get those rebounds over DeGuara. Really, all you can do is kind of hope that he pumps them out and let some other people get them.
Spinning around, Gilbeck short with his hook shot.
You've seen Gilbeck being a little more aggressive here in the second half, but once again, he's really shown no need for this Braves defense to take too much attention to him.
Jet fouled on his way to the basket. He'll go to the line now.
That's something where after the preseason, you would hope that Gilbeck has a better idea of what his role offensively for this team is going to be, but I'm not sure if it's Coach Julius wanted to give him a couple words or if you just want to let him get those cobwebs out after that elbow to the face, but an early rest for Gilbeck here in the third quarter.
Derek Lidowe will take his place. As Jet knocks in the first free throw.
And that's the other thing. Once these Braves understand how to use DeGuara in their spacing, there's going to be huge, huge driving lanes for them. These local bigs aren't going to want to stay too far away from him, worry about getting ducked in, so they're going to have some big driving lanes.
Catch and shoot by Doug Creighton, who rolls it in. There's a turnover, and Kenny will try to add 3 more.
Quick 6-0 run off the turnover on the inbounds pass, and this is where we've seen the Dreamers be successful, just going full court pressure. And we've said these Braves without a natural point guard out there, definitely successful. Oh, easy for me to say, huh? It's easy to full court press them. Let's just say it like that.
Singletary to Mongshe, blocked, but there's Gilbert. No, there's DeGara. Excuse me.
Easy for you to say.
Gilbeck's on the bench.
Again, that's what we said. There's going to be these opportunities because nobody's going to want to help off DeGuara, and when they do, you just can throw it up and expect him to get those 50-50 balls.
Kenny, pull from the top, and another 3.
Kenny really doing everything he can to keep these Dreamers in the game. Seeing hitting a couple threes, something that he really didn't show much of last season, but him just being an offensive force.
Singletary's answer, no. For the fans who are curious, Julian Boyd was working on an injury, and of course working into game shape. We don't know if he'll come into the game, but remember, the Dreamers did beat the Braves game 1 of the finals, as there's another made shot. This time, Doe.
Good job by Derek to catch it at the elbow and hit the mid-range jumper. And you see these Dreamers wanting to attack on those pick and rolls and get DeGuara to move left or right.
Longshire will fire and flush that three.
Yeah, talk about guys not really showing that shooting touch last season. Longshire has done a good job of extending that range and be able to turn into a little bit of a stretch four out there.
Floater by Doug.
We've seen Doug do it before. After that first basket goes in, that basket starts to get a little bit bigger, and coming off a nice pin down, able to get that floater to go.
Jet driving, put it up and in. Tough shot.
But again, it's nice to know that if you miss that shot, DeGuara is probably going to help you clean up those misses most of the time. So definitely a nice safety blanket for these Braves out there.
Derek, fire and out.
Yeah, Derek, after not playing in a real game for quite a while, still trying to find that range.
There's a foul. Singletary will go to the line. Braves trying to pick up the pace after going down early in this quarter.
Yeah, just a wild finish there from Jet, but we see them attacking the paint. Derek a little bit late on that rotation, and Jet just with a creative finish in the air.
Again, Singletary. Get a second try, no. Long rebound to the Braves.
Yeah, Mike really not in the flow of things today after that early foul trouble, not able to get into a rhythm. Definitely not showing that MVP form that we've come to expect out of him.
Too high for the Dreamers. DeGuara will finish it eventually.
Again, he's got decent footwork down there, able to spin and get it up on the board, and obviously nobody's going to be able to block those shots as we see these Dreamers attack in transition once again.
Achi with 2 more points. Jet short with it. Another chance. Calvin fouled on the slide.
Mike's going to have to spend some time trying to figure out how to play with DeGuara. He had a really good season last year. We were playing with Big Z, the third import here for the Braves. But Big Z is somebody who's going to be able to step out behind the three-point line, spread the defense out a little bit. So a little bit different of a matchup for Singletary here coming into this season.
Braves lead by 12. Jet strong to the basket, off the front iron. Another offensive rebound. Good job by Derek jumping the pass, and 3-on-1. Missed shot, and Kenny's there to pick it up.
Yeah, once again, Kenny just everywhere on the floor, and once again, that full court press really showing some good things as 2 turnovers in a row in the backcourt for the Braves. This defense really giving these Braves some issues.
Good play by Yang Sun-yin after missing that first layup. Got another chance, took advantage of it. And a frustrated Braves team heading to the timeout. An 8-point game. Good run by the Dreamers. We'll go to a break and back after this.
观众朋友们，请看我们现场的大荧幕，穿上勇士队球衣，赶紧去申办台北富邦银行勇士千丈金融卡。感谢球迷朋友们，我们台北富邦勇士队以为原目标迈进，凭我相信，相信自己没有极限，相信队友，相信教练，相信球迷朋友们的支持力量，相信富邦勇士。 那么无限的可能，记得要穿上勇士队的球衣，赶快去申办台北富邦银行 1000张金融卡。
Next week, the Plus League season kicks off into full gear. Openers in Taichung and Hsinchu, and all 6 teams will be on the schedule. Buy the few remaining tickets to get in or watch it right here on YouTube. So Jet with the bad couple possessions. Now the referees will go to the monitor to see if they might elevate the foul.
But this is the third backcourt turnover we've seen in this third quarter for the Braves. Dreamers picking up full court, definitely creating some difficulties for these, let's say, ball handling challenged Braves. We saw them go to setting some screens in the backcourt to kind of alleviate that pressure earlier in the first half. We'll see if after this timeout, Coach Rogers adjusted and doing a little bit more of that. But that's what these Dreamers can do. They can get up in you defensively, get in, rotate, switch, be aggressive. And that's how they've gotten back into this game in the third quarter.
One last huddle with the 3 referees.
They got to check it again, Ryan?
Double checking with the MC of festivities here at Heping. And it will be elevated to an unsportsmanlike foul. 2 free throws. Yang Sen-yin. And then Dreamers will have another possession.
Yeah, just great job by Yang Sen-yin getting into the body and then sacrificing his body as Jet throws an elbow in there. And these Braves are a little nervous here without a point guard.
Kind of a product of the height difference. Sen-yin 1 for 2 in his trip.
It'll be interesting to see if they put Jet more at the point or let Mike go a little bit, handle the ball. But it's something that these Braves are going to have to get fixed quickly if they want to maintain this lead.
Now Sen-yin only 178 centimeters and Jet 192. So that's, if my math's correct, is 14 centimeters. Derek driving baseline and will fling it out of bounds.
And we can see Derek. Everybody knows baseline drift, nobody helping him out. That's just a spacing issue. You got to get to the corner and bail your teammate out. There's Coach Julius' son, gets a little screen time there. I'm sure all his friends in Canada appreciate that.
Now a little less pressure as the Braves bring it up. Winston, Jet from the left corner. No. Here's Achi. On a quick counter, Singletary's there to slow down the break.
We've seen Jet get some quick shots up here in the third quarter, leading to some breakouts for the Dreamers.
Kenny off the down screen, spinning through traffic. Smart trying to apply pressure on his college teammate. Pass out Derek, still no.
And that's the luxury that these Braves have. They can switch with all of these lineups as Singletary continues to struggle today with another turnover in transition.
Yang Sen-yin for 3, no. And there's a loose ball foul. Randall Walco said he wanted to put on more weight as he thought he was playing undersized last season, but he looks pretty lean to me, Coach.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who doesn't matter what they eat, they can't put on weight. And I can say that I'm very jealous of that, Ryan.
A frustrating stretch for the Braves as they see their lead go down. Another break, back to the action. Welcome back into the broadcast. Today is December 4th, opening day of the Plus League second season, and tomorrow the Braves will take on the Kaohsiung Steelers, one of two new teams here in Plus League competition. Jet will start off this next series on the bench, and we get a look at Yang Sen-yen, who's highly regarded for his hustle and his work ethic, we're told. Didn't get to show off too much last season, but has played his way into a really good start.
Yeah, Coach Julius recognized the need for a little more defensive intensity, and that's something that, even though he's undersized, Yang Sen-yen will definitely give you, as he's matched up against the Braves import right now.
They're double team off the pick and roll. Smart goes to the ground. It'll be a foul on the defense.
Yeah, you see, that's the intensity that sometimes he gets caught with. So again, maybe a little too aggressive on the help, tripping Brandon Smart, who's going to head to the line for 2 free throws, which is always an adventure with him.
Smart will go to the free throw line, his first trip of the season. He's strong with a first.
And this is usually where we see Singletary kind of take over. And when he's the lone import on the court, he's able to take advantage of those matchups, get to the line, and usually finish strong. And these Braves going into that 3-2 zone, we've seen them work out a little bit in the preseason.
Achi to Doug in the corner. Continue with the driving kick. Walker will fire short. Strong rebound by Singletary. That is the Brave strong suit, is getting the rebounds, and we expect that to get even stronger and more secure with Samuel Degara, as Singletary fouled on his way to the hoop.
And this is a lineup where spacing is going to be an issue for Singletary. You have Meng Xue, who has hit a 3 in this game, but he's probably not going to command the respect of the defense, and also Brandon Smart. So spacing is going to be a challenge for them here, but able to get to the line for these 2 free throws.
In this one so far, the Braves are 12 for 17 as we see the line for Singletary. Only 1 for 5 from the floor.
Yeah, 2 points so far, 3 now. And obviously that foul trouble in the first half, really difficult for him to get in too much of a rhythm, but with some playing time here in the third quarter, able to get back to how he plays at his pace. So.
2 for 2 trip from the line. Meanwhile, the Dreamers only took 8 free throws and made 4 of them. Achi's deep three, in and out, and Gilbeck's there and slams it home.
And there's that aggression that we need to see out of Gilbeck. With all local bigs in there for the Braves, able to get that rebound, but once again,
a lot of commotion on the foul.
Somebody's going to be in foul trouble after this call, and one of these benches is not going to be happy about this call.
Like Singletary took the shot, and Gilbeck, defender on the floor. And it'll be a defensive foul, and more free throws coming up. It'll be 5 fouls for Gilbeck.
And the refs seeing that Singletary kind of sidestepped, and Gilbeck not able to get out of the way.
Could that be more of a no call then, Coach?
You know me, I'm never going to comment on the refs. They're always calling the right calls.
With the free throws, the Braves stretch it back to a double-digit lead.
And that's what Singletary does. Again, able to put pressure on the defense, get to the line, not feeling it from the field, but able to manufacture points, pushing this back to a double-digit lead.
He's a perfect 4 for 4, has Doug in the high post, not a spot we're expecting to see, and Aji knocks in the 3.
Yeah, Aji, second 3-pointer from the top of the key. Somebody who's obviously able to break open this zone, something that these streamers need.
Good hands by Doug, got a paw on it. Chance for a run. Walko can't get it. Tough lay-in.
And those are the ones that are going to go down after some more playing time. Walko, after sitting out the entire preseason, struggling a little bit from the field today.
Josh leaves it short.
See these Braves committed to that 3-2 zone, and the Dreamers doing a good job flashing to the middle. Last time was Doug, that time Derek, not able to hit that mid-range jumper.
Josh will try from the outside and flush it.
Not able to do much as the point guard that time, getting it on the break and able to hit the three-pointer. It's a positive play that the young player needs.
His first points of the game is Yin clanks out that one.
Continue to see the Dreamers do a good job going inside out, just not able to hit those threes.
Smart will take the long two. Got it.
And if the Braves are going to be able to hit those long-range twos, something that the defense is designed to give up, it's really tough for the defenses to shut people down.
From the corner, Walko's three connects.
And that's what we saw Derek telling his teammates on the earlier in the quarter. Again, when he drives, guys got to get to their spots. Walko doing a great job getting to the corner there and hitting the threes. We see this full court pressure once again creating issues for the Braves, regardless of who's bringing the ball up the court.
So, Coach, is that their fourth turnover before getting the ball over the timeline?
And it's not just going to be an issue today. These Braves, today being the first game of a back-to-back, I'm sure the Steelers are somewhere in the building or definitely at home watching, hopefully the English broadcast. But, it's something that they're going to need to work on very quickly.
Made basket and another turnover. Doug's three goes in.
Just sloppy play from these Braves, and Coach Roger doesn't even want to look at it. Just once again, these Dreamers quickly cut a double-digit lead to a manageable deficit.
Tough finish by Singletary. Got around Doug Creighton that time. Haji's three, got it.
Be interesting to see how long these Braves stick in that zone. These Dreamers starting to get hot from three with everybody being able to shoot it. That's something that every coach is scared of.
This shot, and Jeff up ahead to Achi with a lane to the hoop and blows it. One of those awkward angles. Now it's the Braves' turn. Singletary all the way, got it.
That's what we said, able to get out in the open court. At this point, nobody on the court for the Dreamers to evade those defensive rotations. Singletary getting back to what he does do best.
Tapped out of bounds by Smart as energy's picked up quite a bit. The Dreamers lead the third quarter 38-26.
38, not something that any coach wants to see.
Haji left alone, his three connects.
Yeah, we see the Braves continue to stick into that 3-2 zone. And then we see the Dreamers continue to just set ball screens and get wide open shots from the perimeter and cut this to a 2-point game.
They'll slow it up. Looked like Togori might have been hit, but he's called for the travel up and down with the basketball.
And we said earlier in the game, these Josh minutes at point, they are going to be an adventure. And we've seen the Dreamers once again cut into this lead with him at the point. And the biggest issue for them right now is zero defensive intensity. We see them have one foul for the entire quarter. Again, they win games when they play defense. At this point in the third quarter, not much defense being played at all.
His teammates weren't helping him either. They were heading back on defense, leaving him nowhere to pass the basketball. Something happened first. That is actually the game clock, as a little bit of confusion on the offense. But after a good quarter by the Formosa Taishin Dreamers, they find themselves just down by 2 to the last year's chance in the Taipei Fubon Braves. Third, fourth quarter break for the rest of this game coming up after this.
VIP 去用餐都可以有8折的优惠，举起你的手举牌，吸引比尔的目光。有特别自己制作的，都欢迎举起来。特别挺哪一位球员，或者是支持球队有创意的，举起来都可以让比尔来亲自送你这个 VIP 的会员。比尔现在来到中间了，比尔，你今天要送出3位。好，这边1位。还有，赶快把握时间哦，比尔。这个 VIP 餐券可以到我们的 Fridays， 还有我们的德州鲜切牛排都可以享用，只要凭着这张卡就可以拥有8折的优惠。这也是我们未来主场来到这个第3节结束，都会邀请大家一起秀出你最有创意的应援手举牌。所以呢，在这每一场进场前都可以用心的制作，来吸引比尔的目光。比尔，赶快来寻找，赶快！如果你有自己携带的，赶快来吸引比尔的目光哦。比尔可以默默的来寻找，赶快先来找，来送礼哦。他现在要移动到 B 区，有准备的，赶快举起来吸引他的目光。比尔前方也很多哦。
It's been almost 30 days since Taiwan has had a local COVID-19 infection. So keep up the good work, everyone. Give yourself a like. Bill, the mascot for the Braves, going around the arena, maybe with some sponsored coupons, as we see CEO of the league, Charles Chen, speaking to some, I believe, Aquas executives, Kaohsiung Family Mart Aquas. After a strong flurry, the Braves will start with the basketball. Jets back in. And there's a turnover, an almost turnover right away.
Yeah, again, just sloppy play from the Braves. We've seen them have issues with turnovers in the past. Just really no need. Turnovers in the backcourt, turnovers right after half court, turnovers just trying to get involved in the offense. And you got to give a lot of credit to the Dreamers defense, really picking up the defensive pressure.
It looks like Chen Xiangjun in the back. He's in plain clothes, and he'll be done for the rest of this one. Pick and roll. Derek with the mid-range. We have a tie game.
And with these Braves already at a short rotation, we set it at halftime. And then possibly being down Jackie, possibly being down Jet. I'm sorry, Beast. And with this Dreamers team playing at a fast pace, again, something that these Braves teams need to be worried about.
Easy bucket by DeGara. Got the lead right back, but here comes the Dreamers with pace.
Yeah, you can hear Doug talking to his teammates, just telling them, don't worry about it, get up, get down. And we see Derek able to attack and transition. And that's where if you get DeGuara in space, you're able to attack. And if Derek can do that, that's something that Gilbeck's going to have to learn if he wants to be able to contribute for this Dreamers team.
Derek will fire from 3, and he hits.
After a rough third quarter for Jets, finally able to get on the board as these Dreamers continue to use pace to attack this Braves aging roster.
First made three-pointer by Jet. Another replay of that. The Dreamers usually like to help off from one pass away, usually with the entry pass. So Jeff in tough situation.
Yeah, tough rotations for the Dreamers players. Again, a heavy help team as we see Kenny getting back in. But once again, it looked like the Braves were going to run away with this one, but thanks to a defensive effort, they're able to stick around it.
Ashi on the handoff from downtown.
Once again, those handoffs. Aji able to hit from 3, coming alive in this second half, and that's what we said. These Dreamers are never dead, and with their ability to hit shots from the perimeter and ability to get up in teams defensively, they always have a chance.
16 points from the youngster as Degara. Looks like he left that one short. Here comes Kenny with a nice move and 2 points. Dreamers up by 2. Jet with perhaps the most unintentional 2 points he'll ever make.
Not the most crazy shot Jet's taken in this half, but hey, if it goes in, it's a good shot, a pass or something.
Now from 3, Derek. Almost got the lucky roll.
And this pace is something that's kind of gotten a little bit out of the Braves' comfort zone. We talked about with DeGuara out there, probably not going to want to go quite as fast, but that's something that Winston does probably better than anybody else in Taiwan. Starting from his time with Quincy Davis, he knows to just get it up, let your import have a chance to catch it, and let him finish. Great pass by the wily veteran.
Another block, but a foul call on Zhanggeyu Jackie. He's going to take a little bit of a walk. He thought he made a really great play as Kenny, rolling around in some pain, might have come down on his wrist.
This home crowd not a big fan of that call. Kenny taking a tough fall there. Hopefully he'll be okay. Yeah, ref probably calling that initial contact, pushing Kenny off balance.
Still with a pained look. He's all the way back at the jump circle.
And this is where we're going to see if Gilbeck was paying attention when he was on the bench. We saw Derek being able to do a good job defensively against DeGuara. We saw him show how to attack. Gilbeck being a younger player, he just needs to understand how to attack some of these monster bigs that he's going to face here in Taiwan.
There's the free throw percentage on your screen. Advantage to the Braves, who made 17, and the Dreamers right now stuck at 4. Kenny knocks down 1 of 2.
And we see the Braves going back to setting screens in the backcourt to help alleviate that pressure. But again, these Dreamers are able to get into bodies defensively.
Team rebound no good. And in fact, be a violation.
Yeah, Gilbeck able to, once again, sacrifice his body, get in the way, create that charge.
So it will be a foul, in fact. So there's the smarts of Winston. He can shoot it or he can pass it. Doug with a side dribble, too strong. Easy rebound for DeGuara.
Yeah, Braves fortunate there. Mungsha has struggled a little bit defending on the perimeter. We've seen a couple guys get loose when he's defending, but the Braves going back to this pin down set with Winston and DeGuara, trying to go to DeGuara in the post.
Good hustle. But the Dreamers right now with it, and there will be a foul on Winston.
Yeah, the Dreamers just competing defensively, getting their hands on loose balls, being able to poke balls out of the Dreamers' hands. Great job defensively by Chen there, just disrupting everything.
I guess that is the advantage of being smaller and more nimble. Loose balls like that. We saw DeGuara go to the floor a number of times in this game. Usually beat to the spot.
Yeah, we've seen DeGuara, regardless of whether there's diving on the floor, rotating out, a very active defender here, something that these Braves love to see.
Aji with space, fire the early shot, short. Kenny, the extra possession. They'll reset it though, Chen. But Gilbeck in the post. His fadeaway off the bounce. And now a foul call. I wonder if he was out of bounds though.
That's one of those where I'm sure Coach Julius doesn't mind. He had great success pressuring up all game, created 4 or 5 turnovers just here in the second half. So And with nobody really in the bonus, that's something that you can live with as long as your team's defending.
That, in fact, is only the first foul by the Dreamers in the quarter. As you can see on the score bug, 4 fouls by the Braves. Too strong with the pass. Doug will get the break started.
Once again, these Braves just sloppy on these entry passes, overthrowing the 230-centimeter big. And the Dreamers attacking in transition, once again taking the lead.
That makes it 20 turnovers by the Braves as Chen's trying to play jet tough. Now Jackie from the corner, in and out. The fatigue kind of setting in with Degara. Kenny shakes and finishes.
And it's going to be interesting to see how long Coach Roger goes with Deguara. Doug with the take foul there to give his import a little bit of time, but with him kind of dragging, we'll see if he gets Singletary in there.
That's right, fans. Only 1 import allowed for either team in the 4th quarter, and as we discovered, Coach, in overtime. We only got to call 1 overtime, game 3 of the Plus League Finals last season.
Obviously, a good opportunity for the local players is only 1 import on the court, and that's where these 2 teams are going to have an advantage against some of these other teams in the league with deeper rosters local-wise.
Loose with the basketball, Braves keep it. Singletary's 3 way off the mark. So a 3-point lead by the Dreamers as Gilbeck gives up to Jeff. His shot from the elbow, yes!
Another mid-range pick and roll. Jumper from Jeff. Great job finishing this game.
Gilbeck came over with the help, and Jet couldn't finish off the nice move.
This Braves roster just looking exhausted here in the 4th quarter. Starting shorthanded, getting more shorthanded throughout the game, and Gilbeck finally figuring out how to attack against this undersized Braves roster.
Timeout with 6:34 left, and the Braves reeling. Coach Roger and staff will try to get things together before finishing this game off. Trying to get a W on the first game of Season 2 in the Plus League. We'll go to a break. Back with the action after this.
那如果有拿到钞票的朋友，上面有印上我们的中奖的，要记得赛后到我们的拉霸机来兑换奖项。我们的钞票上面都有贴随机有中奖的，在我们的赛后记得到拉霸机来做领奖啊。那如果什么都没有贴的，你就留着做纪念吧。
Thank you, fans, for tuning in to the Plus League English broadcast. I'm Ryan Chen, your play-by-play, joined by Coach Ben on color commentary as we see Bill and the Fubon Angels try to operate their bill distributing item, shall we say. Not with a lot of success.
But hey, when you're throwing out cash, it doesn't matter how you're throwing it out there, Ryan. Everybody's happy.
Not really happy are the Braves. Not only playing a short rotation, guys getting injured in the game, and suddenly having trouble even bringing the basketball up the floor.
And they continue to go to Jed as their primary ball handler, and he's had an up and down second half here with turnovers and some interesting shot selections, but this Dreamers defense just giving the Braves issues everywhere on the court.
Longxue. Pass intercepted. Another turnover. Too late as Kenny throws it behind Gilbeck, and there's numbers for the Braves and slippery fingers. Singletary throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like Josh slowed up a little bit. I think everybody assumed Singletary was going to finish on the break, but turnovers all around here in a sloppy game here.
22 turnovers to 12 by the Dreamers. Walko on the screen, no. Long rebound by the Dreamers, so without Degara having seemingly an advantage. That time Braves collect.
Yeah, those long rebounds, tough if you're just standing there hoping that it falls into your hands, but Braves fortunate there.
Jet with space. His three, short. A good gang rebound by the Dreamers.
Yeah, Braves just looking static offensively. Seems to be one pick and roll shot, and really nothing after that. Whereas these Dreamers are really active, moving side to side, getting everybody involved. As Kenny, another three here, forcing another timeout as these Dreamers extend the lead to 10.
Now a 10-point lead and another timeout called on the floor. In this quarter, 21-9 is the quarter scoring. And Coach, from what I'm seeing, a lot of it starts on the defensive end for the Dreamers.
Yeah, we mentioned early, these Dreamers are going to have an advantage because they're able to pressure up on everyone. We've seen them have a really deep rotation. Braves already starting under with a shortened bench and with some injuries even less. So we said at halftime that these Dreamers with their intensity, it may take a little bit of a while, but it's going to pay some nice rewards, and it's showing it here in the fourth quarter.
This quarter, 6 turnovers by the Braves. Meanwhile, they only have 7 rebounds, so that is absolutely not where they want to be.
They've just had a lack of people that can create. We've seen Jet being able to create for himself, but not really a lot of other people. And that's the issue for them here in the second half. They don't have somebody like Lighting or Joe in there who can kind of push the pace and get easy shots for everybody. Everything's been a struggle with the increased pressure from this Dreamers defense.
At the same time, the Dreamers are able to play this defense, only committing 2 fouls so far. Also, kind of getting the best out of Brendan Gilbeck now. Saw he rebounds hard, plays hard on that end. As also with that little hook shot, which they, of course, want to see him take advantage of, matched up against smaller players. But Degara's back on the floor.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does this time. We've seen him really not look at the basket at all when Degara's been in the game, but hopefully with a little bit of confidence, we'll see some more things from him on the offensive side.
Josh dribbles. Over to Winston, his three. And Gilbeck goes down as Degara got the offensive rebound. Players down to Chen with a reverse, he's fouled.
Another turnover, another fast break opportunity. It seems to be repeating ourselves this entire second half as the Braves are just falling apart here in the fourth quarter.
Got to keep a counter on how many times Chen goes to the floor and rolls onto his back. As we see the foul from behind. Kind of a scary play for sure. And you see Gilbeck putting in a little word with Degara. Free throw made is 12 points by Chen. He also has 4 steals in this one. And entered the lane too early.
Yeah, I knew he'd missed that one. The refs caught him going in a little bit too early, but the way these Braves have looked the first what, 7 minutes of this fourth quarter, it's going to be really tough for them to cut into an 11-point lead.
To the basket, there's a foul. Josh will go to the line.
And that's something Josh has learned from Beast and from Jet. He knows with these actions on the weak side, he's going to be one-on-one with the size advantage, able to get into bodies and hoping that the Braves can get some easy points here in the line. Those points have come to be a really struggle for them in the fourth quarter.
Unfortunately for fans of Zhou Guoyu, having trouble running the point in the preseason, he also was only 9 for 23 from the field, which is only 39%. But he was 5 for 5 from the line. In the preseason, coach.
There you go, Ryan. Jinxing people.
This is the preseason. And coach would be right. 1 for 2. Still 10 points. As Jet try to pressure Jeff. Easy for me to say. Gilbeck left alone down low. Took a little too long, but we'll finish with the and one.
Yeah, after Jet went down, just zero weak side awareness from the Braves. Nobody getting over there. And as we said, Gilbeck finally starting to look at the rim, being aggressive. And that's something that he's going to need to continue going forward.
Sap the energy out of the building too.
It's always tough on these ring ceremony nights, with everybody all pumped up before a tip-off and all that emotion. It can wear on you, and it definitely, when combined with the Streamers' defense, has really made this a struggle for the Braves in the second half.
There's a nice play. Jet finding the smallest pocket to get it to Ray for 2 points.
Yeah, first time he's created for a teammate here in this fourth quarter. They got a lot of catching up to do in less than 4 minutes.
He leads the team with 6 assists. Up against the man defense, Jeff fakes with a lay-in, no. Kenny with a loose ball foul.
Yeah, Jet frustrated, throwing the ball away.
He needs an extra second, coach.
Good job by DeGuara. Not biting on that jump fake, and staying on the ground. That was Jeff not able to get it to go under DeGuara.
We haven't also seen Beast leads the Jet, so even more of that burden put on Jet, Zhang Dongxin.
We talked about earlier how these Braves want to get him a little bit of a rest after he took such an important role for this team last year, but at least in this first weekend, doesn't look like that's going to happen.
This shot by Zhou Guiyu lead to Dreamers, with Kenny putting on the moves. Jay Chen from the right side, too strong.
Fortunate as that gambling defense forced help. And
nice attack back. Brendan Smart with 2 points.
Those are those long rebounds. They start breaks, and offense easy to come by on the break for the Braves.
That's 9 points. Number 23 on the Braves. Mid-range for Jeff, no good that time. The Braves feeling some momentum. Winston's waiting for the pick. Nothing there. Smart will take the pull-up, short. And a jump ball call.
Again, just not much happening for the Braves offensively. Really no shooting on the court for them right now. Other than Jet, really nobody's going to make threes. So lots of problems out there that Coach Rogers is going to have to solve in a very short period of time.
Gilbeck out, Derek in. We're approaching the 2-minute mark where the players can call their 30-second timeout. Smart from the top, no. Extra possession to Winston, his three, also off the mark. And a banked in three. Get it any way you can, Tokwe.
I'm still maintaining not a lot of outside shooting on the court, but if you bank it in, it's still worth 3 points.
Coach, they did take 3 or 4 tries on that possession. After the drive, and Derek turns it over. Winston to the basket. Loose ball goes back to the veteran. Now Smart from the corner. He hasn't made a shot all game.
Just
outside.
No way to open up the defense, so not a lot of room for DeGuara. And as we see the Braves, less than 27% from the three-point line for the game.
Driving kick. Jay Chen, shot block. And an unsportsmanlike foul from behind.
And those are those tough ones that you got to just let go. Again, good defensive stop right there from the second-year player. Able to get the ball and then create the U.
Huge part of what the coaches see out of Brendan Smart is that athleticism in that very tall body.
Yeah, he's a player that's struggled a little bit to figure out the Braves system, coming from a little more freestyle college. But it looks like he's put some work in this summer, and he's ready to contribute.
Be Dreamers timeout, 1:23 left on the clock. I think the Dreamers also have to be concerned with their energy levels to finish off this stretch.
Yeah, but Coach Julius has done a great job with the rotation, getting guys in and out, just saying, hey, give me 110% for a couple minutes, get up, pressure, and then we'll get somebody out and give you a little bit of a break. And Brandon Gilbeck's no exception. He's been in for a couple minutes, out for a couple minutes, and again, good game plan by the Dreamers. And they got a minute 23 to pull this one out.
If this game comes down to free throw shooting, an interesting note is the Braves have the largest split in terms of home and away free throw shooting. They are 73% at home last season, only 64 on the road. So talk about home court advantage for them.
The friendly confines of Heping Stadium, right?
Looks like Michael Singletary will come into the game. Kind of expect him to finish this one out.
Looking at a couple free throws from Smart and then possession from the Braves. Again, a chance for a 5-point possession, but we'll see how they're able to do.
So 5-point game, a chance to tie it up in one go. Well, I guess 3 goes. 2 free throws and a possession.
Depends how you count. You're the math guy, Ryan, so I'll let you decide that one.
Smart at the line. Makes the first one. Only went to the line for 10 free throws last season. Knocked in 2 key ones here.
Pressure free throws from the youngster. The Fubon fans are very excited.
Singletary to inbound. Get to the baseline, hounded, saves it from going out of bounds, and now the Dreamers force a jump ball.
Yeah, good job by the Dreamers, just corralling that pick and roll. Braves looking for the hammer action, but Jet not able to turn the corner. Great job by the Dreamers defensively.
And good anticipation by Walko. Now Dugaro come in, we got some offensive and defensive substitution.
This is where Gilbert just has to make himself a threat. You can't let Dugaro just stand in the paint. You got to force him to be active. As the Braves force a turnover.
And a walk on that side. It looked like Smart applied the pressure. 23 turnovers by the Braves. Now make that 14 by the Dreamers. Down by 3. Jet will lead things off from the point. They're taking their time. And Singletary will fire from way downtown. Gilbeck with a rebound. And a foul committed by Brendan Smart. Less than a minute left. That time in possessions, that math kind of working its way down.
Yeah, and with the Braves in the bonus, it's going to be free throws for the Dreamers right now. And those are the shots that the Braves hit last season. We talked about the regular season MVP. Finals MVP is some royalty here in Heping Stadium.
Saw him last season in the finals here in Hoping Gymnasium. Jay Chow seated high at the boxes. Gilbeck missing the first free throw.
Pressure free throws for the youngster. Had a very up and down game, but has been finishing strong, and I'm sure these Dreamers would love to finish strong with a mate from the free throw line.
Over 2 trip. Singletary now launches off to the right. Another possession. Looks like they'll forego a 2-for-1 situation. Singletary on Gilbeck, gets a screen. Sidesteps it, leaves it short. There's it out of bounds. I believe the referees might look that one over again.
Singletary just settling for 3 threes here really late, but on that play, interesting decision by the youngster Smart. Singletary had the mismatch. Smart sprinted up to set a screen, but that took the mismatch away. So again, mistakes everywhere here in the fourth quarter as they decide to try to figure out how much time's left on the clock.
They'll check on the clock. Unfortunately for the Braves, Singletary 0 for 6. The team as a whole only 24%. Singletary last season a 36% three-point shooter.
I can see Coach Julius getting his free throw shooters in there.
We'll have a little bit of a time to maybe get organized. Well, actually, the referees are trying to break it up.
Confusion about how much time's left, but 21 seconds left here in the fourth. So
in these situations, Coach, with the referees going to the replay monitor, how much time in your brain do you kind of map out this little stoppage of play as a coach?
There's not much explained to your players. You have your full court inbounds. Right now, you're going to have your free throw shooting team in there. So you know who's going to be handling the ball. You know who your safeties are going to be. You know that you're going to get fouled. So right now, you don't worry too much about the offense. You just kind of have to remind guys defensively on a miss what you're doing. If you're up 3, are you going to foul? Are you going to defend out the entire clock? These are the kind of situations that I'm sure both coaches have worked on in practice, and now it's just about reminding guys and hoping that they do the right thing.
After review, looks like the Dreamers will come away with the basketball.
Man, it'll be interesting now because after a timeout, not sure if they're going to inbound it in the backcourt with 24 seconds on the shot clock or in the front court with 14. Some coaches don't like to inbound it under your own basket, worry about a turnover, but doing that would obviously force the Braves to foul with no time on the shot clock. So decisions to be made both ways.
This extended timeout. I'll be interested, Coach, what kind of lineups the Dreamers want to put on there. We talked about they have a little bit more guys, a little bit more healthy than their counterparts in the Braves. So you want to have maybe the dartier guys cover more ground, or maybe some of the bigger guys for more rebounding depth.
And that's going to be their issue this entire season. With now that they're going to have a lot more roster flexibility with some big guys, import-wise, they're definitely going to have some options defensively.
There's a nice story during the preseason of Chen Ziyang Nick, number 97 for the Dreamers. He hasn't made it on the floor, but he's a center, 205 centimeters, which is about 6'8.5" by my conversion. So, haven't seen the floor, but maybe someone that the Dreamers can go to in especially these late game situations. Listening into the Braves timeout. For the Dreamers, like Coach mentioned, prioritizing free throws, Doug Creighton's the tallest player on the floor.
Somebody that Dreamers were obviously thrilled about signing in the off season. Somebody that Coach Joyce obviously trusts a lot. Started the game and he's finishing the game here. Somebody who's very experienced in Taiwanese basketball, FIBA basketball, and interesting decision there by the Braves. There's 21 seconds on the shot clock. I'm sorry, 21 seconds on the game clock, 14 on the shot clock. They had 7 seconds to work with, but they go with the early foul, sending Doug to the line. They're trying to extend this game.
So far in his Taiwan career, has spent every season in the FBL. One more free throw to go. Trying to make it a 2-possession game for the Dreamers, his new club. He does. As the Dreamers now are pushed all the way up, trying to drain that clock. Zokoir. Singletary, his 3 will get the friendly roll. We have 11 seconds left. They have that player timeout, but it's a foul first.
Yeah, good quick foul right there. No time off the clock. These Braves, after a really rough quarter here, are going to have a chance to at least tie after a tough make from Singletary.
Walko just helped off a little bit too much, but Singletary's left dribble and then a pull-up 3, hardly saw that last season, so yeah, fairly good defensive effort.
Yeah, if he makes that one, you just gotta shake your head and say, hey, we're gonna get it back on offense, because that's a tough shot.
A little bit nervy trip to the line because Braves have a chance to tie it or go ahead. Good job by the second-year Randall Walko, 6th man of the year, the Plus League inaugural season.
And now we're going to see if the Dreamers want to foul or play it out.
Jet from way deep, clanks out, loose basketball. That's game over. Dreamers come into Heping and start the season off 1-0. And there's a complete flip of the narrative, first half and second half. They take this one 111 to 108.
Yeah, you can be sure that Coach Rogers is going to point out that 41-point third quarter that they gave up. And after a decent first half, giving up 68 points in the second half is something that he's not going to be thrilled about. But kudos to this Dreamers team for just keeping up that defensive pressure the entire game, getting down by 20 and able to get back up by 10. Great game plan by the Dreamers coaching staff, and great job by the players to execute.
It also says a lot because in the fourth quarter they had stretches without their import player, Brendan Gilbeck, and so it was up to their local players to fight through the fatigue and fight through the run that the Braves put on at the end. But the growth and development of their players is something that they really emphasize with their program, and it was on display there. Stick around, fans. We'll be talking to a Plus League player or Plus League team employee in the post game. I'm Ryan Chen, your English play-by-play, and this game, as well as many other exciting broadcasts, will be joined by Coach Metcalf. So, Coach, there were some highs, some lows for the home team and the away team. In the end, it was a tight game, that kind of what you like to see for the audience here in the stadium and for those watching our broadcast at home.
Yeah, it was a great start of the game as we see Jeff getting ready to be interviewed.
Asked about being down by as high as 21 points and how they make the comeback.
就是全部人，不管是先发跟板凳，我们完全没有放弃，就是这场比赛这样子。就是开赛前在开会的时候，教练就跟我们讲说，我们可能半场会输15分，但我们就继续做我们相信我们自己的系统，相信教练的指示，然后大家一起打球，然后我们一定会赢回来这样子。
Was something they believed in the whole time. Now asked about Kenny Chen, who finished the game with 30 points.
肯尼是一个非常对我们球队是非常重要的角色，因为他今天打到4号位，可是他可以带球，他可以叫战术，他可以今天也有外线这样，所以我觉得肯尼是今天赢球的最重要的功臣，然后也很开心我们今天拿下胜利这样。
Asked about the mood and the team culture that they've developed, especially coming
就是家吧，就是因为我们大家都是不同，从不同的地方出来，然后也有旅外的，也有像我是旅外回来的，然后也有道哥也是从 SBL 过来，然后大家都是一起住在台中，一起生活，一起吃饭这样子，然后就是团队凝聚力非常的够，然后也很感谢教练，然后相信我们这样子，最后能拿下这场胜利。
Thanks, Jeff Woo-Yong-sun, for joining us
谢谢
in the post-game coverage. He and the Formosa Taishin Dreamers with a 1-0 record. We'll go to a break, and after this, some post-game analysis. Wrapping things up from Heping Gymnasium, home of the champion Taipei Fubon Braves, but they go down to 0-1 with their loss against the Dreamers. In tomorrow's game, the Kaohsiung Steelers, one of 2 new teams, will be taking on these same Taipei Fubon Braves. Coach, that's kind of an interesting thing. In the Plus League this upcoming season, only home teams will have most of the back-to-backs, and road teams might be able to catch them on a lot of Sundays.
Yeah, it's interesting because you normally think of a home court advantage, but now you're going to be having a back-to-back, so it kind of evens everything out.
Tian Honghui, Mark on the right, and Tenzi Wei, Coach Wei as the color commentator on the Mandarin track. Mentioned a lot of the times the short rotation and the injured players. The Braves will be playing shorthanded, with the Dreamers, you feel like their evolution is kind of taking place with the guys more mature in execution, fighting hard throughout from the beginning to end of the game. Kind of a positive sign for the young team.
Yeah, we've kind of seen storylines that we're going to see this entire season. The Braves with the champions, but with an aging roster, and obviously with injuries, it's really tough for them right now. But these Dreamers, after having a very short rotation last year, with getting some free agent signings and through developing some guys of their own, they're going to have a very deep roster. Again, with their playing style, they're going to be able to put some pressure on these opponents.
That'll be it for our broadcast. I'm Ryan Chen, and on behalf of Coach Ben, the league, and the teams, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.